Really kind of chilly and windy out here, man. All right, let's make it do what it do. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. I don't have my headphones on, man. Whatever. I was really scrambling today, but I did want to make this a moment. So hopefully, it's been about 30 seconds. Hopefully, this is getting out to everybody. Algorithm is doing its thing, pushing out to people that we are live. It is time to be live. I haven't been live in a while. I had a lot going on, man. I've been moving around a lot, been moving and shaking. Had a lot of stuff going. Thanks for hitting that like button, whoever did that. I don't know if it's this side or this side, whichever side it's gonna be. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thanks for kicking it with me. My name is EKB, and I am gonna be your host today on Smoke Your Best Cigars Live. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm hosting today. I didn't come in with a lot of stuff. Not like super prepared today. It's one of them days, man. It's kind of weird, man. Where I felt like I was behind the eight ball on everything. Like I couldn't really get rolling and get moving the way that I wanted to. It's just like everything, even just getting this live going, I felt like I was behind, you know. But we're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it all better. Today we are smoking the Muestra de Saca. So Rob is in the place to be. What up, Rob? Rob said I'm driving home from playing a little music. I didn't know you were a musician, dude. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that. Still have a smoke any of those Dunbar cigars yet, but I plan to tomorrow. Hey man, understood. We're gonna keep it Dunbarton, man. I'm gonna do a Dunbarton for you today, so it's all good. I got you covered, man. Kind of music you playing? Bro, I'll be back to watch this. I'm not in good shape. Hey man, take your time, man. If you need anything, holla at your boy, man. I was actually wondering what was going on with you, man. Like if everything was good, man. So hope everything gets well. Hope you get better. Just shoot me a message, man. If you need to talk, if you need anything, just let me know. Hope everything goes smooth. I know all about not being in good shape. Kind of in that mode right now myself, so I get it. Thank y'all for hitting the like button too. It's understandable. It's understandable. It's kind of interesting, man. Like sometimes when it's like that, you need to kind of take a moment for yourself when you can, when it's available, because it's not always easy to just kind of get a break and get a time to chill and just get time for yourself. Right now, I got a moment, and I had a busy week, man. Today's just been kind of crazy, and I kind of tell you guys all about it. It's been a busy couple weeks. I just got back to Japan, if y'all didn't know. Shouts out to everybody that just joined in. Let me know if I'm loud and clear. Let me know if the audio is where it's supposed to be. I just got back from the United States. I had been, uh, I did an impromptu, I wouldn't really call it a vacation, but it was kind of a vacation back to California. I didn't eat any In and Out. I stayed away from In and Out. I didn't have to worry about that. So I felt good on the whole trip. But I did have some really bad Mexican food. And I kind of want to talk about that whole experience. It's like the difference in the food in the US and the food in Japan right now because it was a really, really, really big difference, especially the part of California I was in. I was in the Bay Area. I went from the East Bay to South Bay, spent a little time in San Francisco. So, I was bouncing around quite a bit. So while I light up this unicorn, I'm gonna talk about the unicorn, and I'm gonna tell you guys about my trip to the United States, everything that happened with that, and then I just kind of want to hear from y'all in the chat just to see what's going down. If you know, you know it's in the place to be, man. Thanks for being a regular every time, man. I really appreciate you always showing love to the Vintage Cigar, man. Smoke your best, man. I really appreciate you. He said, "What's up? Let's kick it." Got a Crown Royal and some Pepsi going. All right, you got a vibe. I got my Coke Zero. Got $100 cigar. And I want to give a big thanks, man, while I'm at it. I want to give a big thanks to Peter from the Cigar Collective for sending this cigar out to me. Because I honestly, dude, like, let me start cutting and lighting this while I talk about this. Since we're just talking about a cigar within itself. Y'all know how I'm pretty much a fan of Saka cigars, just in general. And when it comes to the Tolas, what makes me the most happy, y'all know the number one is gonna be the Shark. That's my favorite Vitola. Second to that is generally gonna be Corona or Lonsdale. I really love that size. It just kind of fits my hand right, and I really dig it. But really, the closest thing that could be like 2B for me is a double perfecto, especially in the unicorn vitola. Like this is the shape of a cigar that kind of made me fall in love with cigars. Back in the day, I was an '80s latchkey kid, and when you are at home by yourself and you watching Looney Tunes and you watching Tom and Jerry and you watching all your favorite cartoons and stuff like that, whenever you saw somebody with a cigar, it was always, this smells so good. It was always a double perfecto. And then when you had the indigenous guy, the indigenous chief holding the cigars in the cigar shops, he always had a double perfecto. And I fell in love with this Vitola because of that, because this is what I thought cigars were supposed to look and feel like. And I wonder in general if Steve Saka kind of had that same thing. You know, we see a lot of double perfectos, but none of them, like when I first started this journey, just kind of really chasing cigars and I wanted that smoke and I wanted to find out as much as I could about cigars, about the cigar culture and what the whole, vibe was like to smoking cigars. I was really always trying to find the right double perfecto. So I went to some of the like the La Aurora. I found out about a lot of different Figueroas and Salomons and stuff like that, and nothing ever fit the ideal of what I was looking at. The closest thing was probably those double perfectos that came from a La Aurora. You know what I'm talking about, the sapphire and the diamond and the ruby and all of those, right? They were really cool. Spicy. Absolutely really nice cigars and they fit a double perfecto. But then when I saw what Saka was doing with the Muestra de Saka and the Unicorn, I was like, that's it. That's the cigar that I have always seen in my head, and that's the cigar that I always wanted to smoke. And that was like the profile that I was going for, and especially the look. But what really happened with that, when I saw the price tag on it at $100, I was like, ain't no way, boy. I'm not gonna be able to do it. If y'all know that hip hop song, put it in the comments that y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that being said, I never thought I was gonna get this cigar. I never thought, because I wasn't gonna pay $100 for it. And I'm not even being facetious. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic or anything like that. I really just wasn't about to pay $100 for what 5 inches of rolled up tobacco. It's insane to me. And I think concept wise, it is insane to Steve Saka as well. And what's really cool is I think uh, Pick Jimmy, if you guys have been watching his channel recently, has a really good dialogue about that, and he did a great thing, just kind of having the conversations with Steve Saka, and just reaching out, trying the cigar. And Matt from Cigar Hound Dogs just recently did a review on one of the unicorns as well too. But big shout out to Peter for actually getting this in hand so I can actually try it out, because there's no way that I would have spent $100 for that. Just thinking with the mindset, I just don't think logically it makes sense. But we have this whole thing with the collector's mentality, or and getting our hands on something that it seems to be the most prestigious, or the most difficult thing to get. Whether it's going to be Yeezys, whether it's going to be the new iPhone, whether it's going to be a rare car, or whatever the case may be. Putting that $100 price tag on something, putting limited edition, and putting rare on anything, it makes something click in a lot of our heads, just evolutionary wise, that we have to go out and get it. We have to find a way to try to see what this is like. There's a part of me that is like that. But I also grew up in a way where I had to be conservative. Not conservative in a political sense or anything like that, but conservative in the sense like I never really had a lot. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had certain resources. So when I had resources, I had to pick and choose to see what is of value, to me. What is valuable to me? What is something that's worthy for me to actually be able to get? I like I still hold on to that, 4 decades in right now. I still hold on to that mentality and it's hard for me to let it go. Carpenter, what up, man? We just smoking $100 cigar. We lighting $100 on fire today, and just to see how it goes. The profile for this bad boy is about what I was expecting. I I dig Muestra de Saka just in general, just because it gives you a different profile than what everything else is out there. You're usually gonna get these. It's a drier profile and it's an earthier profile. You get spices, you get a lot of woods in there, and to me, it's grounded. But you usually will get something to kind of complement that too. You usually get like a cinnamon and nutmeg, and maybe like some citrus to kind of go along with it to kind of help help those spices, the peppers and the woods, and it gives you a nice balance. It's a little bit more rugged than a lot of what Saka does, and that's cool, and I'm okay with that. It's about as close as you're gonna get to an armchair smoke from Saka. Excuse me. So while I'm piecing this together, let me kind of put some things together and kind of tell you guys about the trip that I had to back to California, and it was an interesting ride, man. Just because in general it was such a last minute thing. Without putting too much of my personal stuff out there, I had a family member that was having a birthday party, and they decided to turn the whole thing into kind of like a family reunion. Peter, what up, man? Peter M. And I took the time to kind of put that together, like like, hey, let's get a little bit of ducats together, make sure we got the necessary time off to be able to go, and because pretty much my wife's whole family was gonna be there, and I didn't want the wife and kids not to go, so I was like, yo, let's do what we got to do to get there and to spend some time with fam. Peter, what up, man? So I packed up all the stuff, got the kids all packed up, got it ready, and really what it was gonna be was just like from Friday to Monday. We burning the clock and we going. We got an extra day because we're going back into the states, so we got 2 Fridays, which is really cool. We took the Friday here, get all the way up to Fukuoka to get on the plane, fly to Tokyo, fly from Tokyo to San Francisco. Bang, 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 just like that, right? Got there, everything is cool, but I noticed, man, there was such a big difference that like one, I forgot how to drive in the United States. I totally forgot how to drive on the right side of the road. I forgot how to drive on the left side of the car. And it took me a second to get my bearings back to like I'm hitting the windshield wipers, and like so over here, like when you're doing like this on your right side, that is that's your signal lights, so you turn, and that's the natural thing. You learn naturally how to turn, and like I'm hitting windshield wipers, and like I got to learn how to use my left hand again. Like it was a whole thing getting used to that. Then like when it was time to get out of the airport, get something to eat and stuff like that. Yo, we could not find a meal for one person that was less than $20 anywhere, right? So we did all that. Luckily, my wife's family is pretty put together as far as like their careers and all that kind of stuff like that. So um, we were in the valley, Hidden Valley, Carmel Valley, something like that. Real nice near Walnut Creek. Real nice, well-to-do place. So we spending time with the family. We dancing together, eating together. You know, when you Filipinos get together, yo, it's gonna be a good time. Filipinos know how to put on a party, man, and they know how to get together. We ate some good food, but it was just like the gas out there was like $5, $6 a gallon, and eating food, you know, nothing was really less than $20, and it was really just like it was a major crunch, but we had a good time. We ate well. We spent time with the fam. I didn't get to go to Beeps Burgers in San Francisco. I rolled by it and I wanted to stop there so bad, but we had just ate this huge meal and had pizza and all that kind of stuff, and there was just no way that I was gonna be able to do that. So whatever, I had to pass it up. Fly back to the United States. We get into Fukuoka and we're starving because it was just a rough ride, rough flight getting back. Trying to do it with two kids and all that kind of stuff. Stick God, what up, man? And we got back. We went to this place called Joyful. It's kind of like a Denny's. You know, it's like a Japanese version of Denny's. Well, we actually have a Japanese version of Denny's here, but that's another story within itself. But either way, thank y'all for hitting that like button, man. Appreciate y'all for doing that. And when we get there, we eat. The kids eat. My wife eats. She got like karage, which is Japanese fried chicken, and I got like this steak plate with potatoes and some vegetables and a whole plate of rice and some stuff on the side. And my wife had all this stuff on the side. My kids got like a burger set, but they got a burger, a hot dog, some French fries, and some Japanese toys and candy and all this kind of stuff. And that whole meal was 4,300 and some change. So that whole meal for all four of us cost the same that it would cost for me just to eat by myself while I was in California. And I'm just like, how is that even possible, bro? And we were full. Like we were like satiated. We were like we ate good. You know, we were tired, we were exhausted. We ate really good. So it was a really good thing. Anyway, Shock is up in here. What up, Shock? He said, what up, EKB? Saw you had popped up and wanted to say what up. Hope all is well, bro. Be easy. You be easy as well, too, man. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for doing that. So we got some cool people up here, man. We got Peter M. We got Peter from the Cigar Collective. We got Stick God Travels up in the place to be. Let's see. Sar City. Oh, Scar City. Word up. Rob is up in here. We got the Cigar Carpenter up in here. If you know, you know. So we got a vibe, man. Thank y'all for joining in. It's the vibe. I wonder if I should open up the draw on this a little bit. The draw is a little bit tight, but I know it's early because it's a double perfecto. So I want to let this get down. But this cigar is actually kind of fitting the mood that I wanted, man. Quincy up in here, man. What up? So we smoking today just to kind of go back over. We got, I'm burning $100 right now. I just wanted to see what it was like to burn $100. And we got the Muestra de Saka Khan. So when I started off the show, what I was really talking about is how much I love this double perfecto and this particular vitola that is unique the to the unicorn cigars. Even though we have double perfectos out there, nobody has quite perfected a double perfecto. So I was really excited to kind of smoke this, and this is an episode of Smoke Your Best Cigars. And I had some time today. That's what I wanted to do. And what I was gonna say, this profile is exactly what I was looking for. I really kind of wanted something earthy, spicy, and woody. I wanted it to fit that. Some nice peppers, like on the retrohale, but it's crazy to think like I've gotten better smoking experiences, just to start from, much more reasonably priced cigars. You know what I'm saying? Like just the thought of spending $100 on this is kind of crazy to me. But I understood what Saka was talking about. Like you're trying to make something an event. You're trying to make something a moment. And I think all of us kind of need that sometimes, when we're going out and you want to be able to celebrate with people. You want to be able to kick back and you want to spend a good moment. I don't know if y'all ever see, like sometimes when I'm doing lives or something like that, I got a family member that pops in. It's one of my wife's cousins, and he would pop in from time to time. And I always got to show love to Scotty, and it's kind of cool. So when I was packing up, I wasn't gonna take any cigars because I really wanted this to be a family oriented thing. So I didn't want to like go too hard with the cigars. And it's kind of weird, like not even being on the internet right now. I'm known as the cigar guy. Like that has kind of followed me because people know I got a YouTube channel, and whenever I get a chance, I'm always talking about different cigars or questioning about cigars or something like that. But I don't want that to be my identity solely, especially when I'm around family. I don't want that to be like, oh, only thing he does is sit back and smoke cigars. But before I left, like right before I got everything completely packed up, everything organized, Scotty hit me up and was like, "Hey man, you bringing cigars?" And I'm like, "Dude, just for you, I'm gonna pack up the box, the travel humidor, and I'm gonna bring you some cigars." So I put some of the best stuff in there. Put a lot of Sans Patel stuff in there. I put the Drac in there. I put in Fuente, short story. Uh, and a couple magic toasts, right? And I did that because I know he wanted to have a magic toast, and it was time for me to smoke the magic toast again since I've been talking so much about the magic toast. I hadn't had one in a while, so it was like up to me to like, okay, let's see what this profile is like. I've been going back and forth with Hound Dog about the magic toast and all that, and I knew my cousin wanted to try it, so I put that in the box too. Packed everything up. Couple Cameroons in there too. There was some really good cigars in there. The Tatuaje 20, and so we had a lot of time at this resort that we were staying at. So we sat by a lot of fireplaces at night. A lot of my wife's family are musicians. They play guitar. They play a lot of music. So we would really said the toast is better than Chinchale. Nah, you don't go that far. But I don't hate either. I know a lot of people feel that way, Peter, but I don't hate either. I actually have an appreciation for both of the cigars. But oh man, I love the controversy that you've been stirring up lately. I do appreciate that though. But honestly, to me, they're not too far apart. They're not really close together. That Ometepe really kind of changes everything for uh, for the toast. But nah, that's neither here nor there, man. It's one of those things. Like I finally got a chance to I was literally like handing out cigars. What up, Philip? I'm handing out cigars, and we sitting by the fire. We playing some Johnny Cash. We playing some Dylan. We playing some U2. I hate U2. We playing some Bob Marley, and we just had a lot of cool vibes, man. We just everybody sitting back smoking a cigar. So Scotty got a chance to smoke the Magic Toast. I had a few Cameroons, and you realize it's like my brother-in-law is a DJ, and he kicked back, and I gave him the Tattoo I Hate 20, and he's in the hot tub, by the fire, smoking the cigar, and I realized how much of a moment that cigars create. Like it helps to create this ambiance, and it creates this chill vibe, so everybody just catching up because some of these family members I hadn't seen in years being here in California, and seeing them growing up from little kids, and most of them in their 20s. They have graduated college and all this kind of stuff, and they finding their own path, and I'm handing them, what up RL, salute to you. I'm handing them cigars and all that too, man. So it's kind of cool to like smoke with the older generation, smoke with the newer generation, smoking with uncles, smoking with cousins, smoking with my brother-in-law, and everybody's lighting up cigars and whatnot, man. And it was just a vibe, dude. So I get the whole principle behind what you know smoking your best cigars and not letting these moments go by. And I wasn't handing out anybody like any dummy cigars. I was really trying to give them like good experiences. I'm like, yo, you ever had a Sancho Patel? You never had one here. This is a Sancho Patel red. I'm gonna give you a Sancho Patel black. I'm giving you this tattoo. My other brother-in-law, I gave him the barber pole, Hemingway. And it's just like that sharing the cigars is everything. So, having a moment when you can smoke $100 cigar and kick back. I guess this is my reward for being able to share those moments in your best. Yeah, RL, this is what it's all about, right? Yo, is Dave Lafferty up in? Yo. Let me read this comment, man. Enzo, what up, man? And I wasn't expecting to see you in here, man. Thank you for watching. I'm honored, brother. And congratulations to you too, man, for another anniversary. What'd you say? It was 5 years? Being the top man in sales, man. That's major. So he said, I didn't expect to stumble across this tonight. I hope the unicorn treats you well. So far, it's treating me well, brother. And thank you for stumbling through, man. That's crazy. Like I'm hyped to see you. Like genuinely hyped to see you, man. So that's dope, man. And major congratulations to you, bro. And keep doing your thing, man. You are a great personality. As far as like seeing you with your fam, and seeing the way you treat the customers and seeing the way you treat people on Facebook and just the way you represent, Dunbarton, man. I got nothing but a salute for you, dude. And I'm not trying to gas you. I'm being for real. So thank you for joining in, man. Appreciate y'all. Um, and so far, this $100 cigar is good. But I get what Saka was talking about, man. Like sometimes you gotta have that moment. I couldn't see myself spending 100, but yo, real talk, just being able to share experiences with people, share experiences with cigars, and kind of kick back. That's what we do on this channel, and we try to smoke the best. So I don't just do that for myself, man. Like I really try to focus on if I'm sharing these experiences, I want to give everybody the best options. Yes, sir. VP of sales for 5 years and counting. 5 years and counting with Dunbar and Tobacco and the Trust, man. Much respect to you. No doubt, brother. No doubt. I'm honored. I'm the one that's honored. So before I got into the whole diatribe about talking with the family and sharing the best cigars, excuse me, my allergies are still messing with me. So I'm gonna tell y'all that story too. Now I'm talking about my allergies, but let me talk about the cigar a little bit more too. The draw is opening up. The smoke, you can see the smoke is really coming off of it. That's almost what you got to expect when you have um, a double perfecto in general. You kind of got to give it some time to get through that first third and kind of let the cigar open up. And I think it's a good thing that it allows the tobacco to kind of breathe and it gives you a little bit of patience and you grow into the different flavors and the aromas on the cigar. The aroma on the cigar is absolutely bananas, but that's usually what you get from a Moestra de Saka. You get those rich, earthy, woody, nice burn notes, that kind of wood fire burn, and I appreciate that a lot. So Peter said my blue unicorn was great. Stack dimes, and you see that's what they do, man. I know Matt's had a little bit of a wavy burn. I haven't had a lot of that, perspective, and this one is burning fantastic as well too. I kind of wonder between the Carita Black and the Sober Mesa Blue, which one I would prefer to have in the unicorn profile. I kind of go back and forth with that. I think Pick Jimmy just recently got the black, and I know you had the Sober Mesa, and I think Matt had the Saka Khan as well too. I would be interested, to try all of them in different flavors, but for real, like cost wise, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So I'm actually just happy to have this moment to say, I can check this one off of the bucket list because it was definitely on the cigar bucket list. I just didn't know if it was ever gonna happen. So Peter, thank you, brother. This means a lot to me, man. Blue beat the black, and the Saka Khan is the number one. So, I mean, fair enough. It's kind of hard to argue with that, right? So, a quick story, man. Like, if y'all have been following, ever since I moved from the Kanto region, Kanagawa, and near Tokyo, and I moved down here to this Kyushu region. I'm in Sasebo now. My allergies have been fighting me. Like y'all know, if y'all been following, the Smoke Your Best Cigars, y'all been on the lives with me. Y'all know I've been fighting with my allergies like crazy. So the allergies have given me asthma. I've never had asthma in my life. Should I be smoking cigars if I got asthma? I think I'll be okay. I don't inhale. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But it has been an issue just dealing with that. So while I was in California with the fam, we wake up for brunch. We have a really nice brunch. All the family gets together, all the uncles, the cousins, and so everybody's just vibing. We eating really good. But in the middle of that, I can feel when my asthma attack is coming on. I start coughing, I start getting a tickle in my throat, and then everything kind of locks up on me. So I'm uncomfortable with my allergies that morning. Just as soon as I wake up, it was like the pollen is starting to come. I was going through it. So I just go and sit out in the rental car and just try to get away from people because I got tears coming out of my eyes, got snot running. Like I'm just uncomfortable being around all of these family members looking like that. But while I'm in the car, it turns into an asthma attack. I've never had an asthma attack before. And luckily, just the night before, I told my father-in-law that, I've been having these allergy issues and these asthma issues. And he was like, yo, I got a, what do you call that, inhaler? He's like, I got an inhaler. So I'm spending all this time, like, while I'm in the United States trying to get an inhaler because I couldn't get one here in Japan. So I go out to the car and I'm panicking because I'm having a asthma attack and nobody is around. Like I'm shook, daddy. Luckily, my father-in-law comes out and he has that joint on him. One puff, I could breathe and I could talk again. Because before, like the asthma attack was so bad that I couldn't speak. That's how much I was losing my breath, man. So, dude actually literally saved my life while I was in California. He just came out of the blue and saved my life. So, anyway, like I'm telling that story just because it was just a super random thing that ever happened to me, and it's just nuts that I didn't know that your allergies could create asthma over time. I didn't know that was a thing. I had to do my Googles and do my research on it. Smoke break. So I learned something that day. So now I got my Primatine mist and I got albuterol. Is that what the shit is called? So I got two inhalers, and I never had to carry that. And I was an athlete growing up, man. I was a martial artist and an athlete. I never had to worry about my wind. When I played soccer in high school, I got into the condition shape where I used to run. We used to run the full cross country track before the game. Then we would do drills, and then we would play a scrimmage, and then we would do wind sprints. And after that, I would run home after we had practice and all that kind of stuff. That was the conditioning I was in, and I wasn't tired. I would just eat a ton of food, and I was good. So I never had to worry about my lungs ever, man. So now the fact that like to see what people go through when they have an asthma attack, it's just crazy, bro. That's some wild shit. But anyway, all right. I got the Muesha the Saka. What are you guys smoking tonight? What's on y'all docket? I wanted to do this on. It's still Friday for y'all, right? It's still Friday there, right? Because I think it's Saturday for me, so I think it's still Friday for y'all. I wanted to do this live where y'all could actually get on. We can catch people, when their night is starting to end and they're trying to kick it and chill. I wanted to get on a little bit earlier so I can get more East Coast people on. I never get a chance to get the East Coast folks on the show. It's real difficult unless I do this shit like super early in the morning. What are y'all smoking tonight? Peter, I know you got something really good. Um, I don't know if Dave is still up in here. What you smoking on, man? I know you got some really good Dunbar and stuff. I love seeing what you put up on Facebook. Friday, 8 p.m. in Vegas. That's what's up. What's cracking in Vegas anyway, man? Vegas has been popping, man. How did everything go at the All Star? I saw the traffic for that joint, man. That looked like it was murder. That looked like I wouldn't want to be in Vegas at all. But I know you were saying that was it you that was saying that you couldn't smoke right now? That you kind of on a roll? I'm trying to see what this cigar is giving me right now. Nah, man, no cigar tonight. Smoked a few last night after the Unbanded. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you had quite a few after that. Smoked a Across America Opus X earlier. Was that the Shark Vitola that you had, Peter? That's the Shark Vitola, right? I've actually never had that. Good night, sir. No cigar right now. heading upstairs and trying not to wake up my wife. Hey, smart man. Take it easy, man. Thank you for joining in just for the short time. I really appreciated seeing you on, man. It means a lot to me, bro. You be easy. Don't wake the missus up, man. All right. So let me crack open and pair this with my Coke Zero. No doubt. How did that shark treat you, man? Was it good? I think I got one more shark Vitola. Not shark Vitola, but I think I got one more Opus shark left. I kind of want to smoke that beside um, beside the eye of the shark. Because right now, like the top two for me are easily the eye of the shark, and then right after that is the Julius Caesar shark. That's probably gonna be like my order, and then I'll probably say the Añejo shark, and then will be the Opus X. I got to be honest, man. I like the Opus X, but I'm not the biggest fan out of Fuente. Like I would rather have. I know I said this recently. I would rather have the Don Carlos, and I would rather have an Añejo over just about anything. Opus X is just it's cool to me, but it's too muted. It's just a little too smooth for me. And I've been having that whole thing that I'm kind of learning that like right now while I'm enjoying this, I'm appreciating the more rustic profiles or the more chocolatey or more fruity profiles in my cigars. I'm like I and Peter said JC, DC, Opus, and Yeho. I get it. I get it. I wouldn't put the Añejo that far down. I did realize that with the Añejo, after too much age, it's too muted. And when I had the one that was like 10 years old that Michael gave me, that was a little bit too calm for me. I didn't get enough of the fruit profiles from that. I love getting that cherry note in there. And that kind of creamy mousse like flavor, that shit is really good. And once that, if that dies down, like if it ages too much, it kind of takes away from that cigar. So I kind of feel where you're coming from with that, depending on when you get it. So that makes sense to me. Uh, he said we had back-to-back problems with tourists out here. First, it was the F1 race crowd. Then the Super Bowl hit, and so many hotel rooms, Airbnb spots got robbed. God, Vegas is wild, man. So yeah, I know y'all had a lot going on. I think the All Star joint was in Indianapolis, and it was the Super Bowl that was in Vegas. So yeah, y'all really had it going. I forgot about that F1 race. He said I smoked. Peter said I smoked. Peter M said I smoked the Julius Caesar Shark a couple days ago. Really good. I love that cigar, man. And I can see why uh, cigar collector Peter will put that up top number one. That J.C. Newman joint is a banger. It is an absolute banger because it's hard for me to put anything close to the Don Carlos Shark. That is right there with it. I love that cigar, so I'm not mad at that at all. Glad you had a chance to enjoy that. Um, Quincy said he got the GTO painkiller at the moment. Shouts out to that. I haven't had that one, man. I've been hearing people talk about it. Quincy, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that GTO? They really are, man. They really are all great. And I'm not saying that to knock it. But I would really put the Opus X at the bottom for me, just because like I haven't been blown away by any of the Opus X that I've had yet. None of them have made me just sit back in my seat like a Don Carlos has. Like it's so many of the Don Carlos lines. And when I had the other day, uh, the Don Carlos the Man, to me that tasted so much like an Opus X to me. And I appreciated I finally got a chance to actually sit back and smoke that cigar, but it didn't blow me up. It didn't blow my mind. It didn't have me like, oh, because really what made me think is like, it's just an Opus X. So I do want to try to get into the Casas Fuentes. I got a couple of those downstairs. So I think what I want to do when I do the next, Smoke Your Best Cigars live, I think what I want to do is actually have it to be Fuente focused. And I think I'm gonna bring out. I'm probably gonna bring out that Opus Shark, and if I have a second cigar, it's probably gonna be the Casa Fuente. just so I can smoke that and just to see how my thoughts are going along, and see if I still feel the same about the cigars. I've been really debating on like whether I'm gonna cut down on enjoying cigars or not. I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. I got some deliveries that I need to send out. I got some cigars that I need to send out to people. I got some stickers because if Messi is up in here, man, Messi been giving me the business about sending out stickers, so I got to do that. And if y'all notice, like people have done recent unboxings with my cigars. I put some of my old school stickers in there. I don't have my circular, vintage cigar logo anymore. I only got my secondary, cigar band logo. That's the only one I got. I thought when I moved in here that both of them would pop up, and that hasn't happened. So that's kind of how that's going. Shouts out to everybody that hit that like button. We got 18 people in here, 14 likes. I really appreciate y'all. Cali Cal is in the place to be, man. I was just in your neck of the woods recently, man. He said I had a God of Fire Series B. Blew my socks off. Yeah, that God of, you know what? I don't know why. When I talk for one thing, I don't think about God of Fire enough. And I've had maybe 3 or 4 of them, and every one that I've had so far has been amazing. So I really need to kind of put that into the same lexicon that I put with the DC. And I think part of the reason why I do that because it's when it's like cigars that are super rare and that are really expensive, I don't really put them in my lexicon very much to bring up very often. And just because I know I don't get to indulge in them very often. But the God of Fire is a killer. It is an absolute killer. I would take that over Opus X any day. Any day. Any day of the week. So I feel you on that. Kendall is up in here from Tucson, Arizona. How's it treating y'all out there, man? Y'all nice and warm. You see, I got the puffy jacket on right now, man. It is cold as a bitch out here. The weather is nice, though. Let me give y'all the sneak peek again. The weather is beautiful, man. You can see the mountain really clear. You see that, only a few clouds. Neighborhood is looking beautiful. People out here drying their clothes and whatnot. And it was really cool, man. I've been in some really, like, real cool climates lately, man. Like, one thing that I can say that the time that I spent in the Bay Area, the weather was amazing. The weather was absolutely perfect. So that's been, like, treating me really good, man. And so, the kids got a chance to go swimming. We got a chance to just spend the night out, playing guitar, sitting by the fire, smoking cigars. Like, you really can't beat an experience like that, man. So it's kind of nice to come back to Japan and have some nice weather, too. Get some sunshine. But it's cold as a bitch. The wind is out here killing. One thing about this, smoking a unicorn, it's a little bit wavy, but the burn on that is nice. Stacking dimes, it don't look like that's going anywhere anytime soon. So at least when you're getting $100 cigar, at least you're getting, quality control. At least I know, Saka and his team are putting together a really good cigar. If they're gonna charge you $100, for a cigar, at least this smoking experience is really good. I gotta honestly admit that there are a lot of cigars that I would smoke at a much more affordable price over this, but I'm really enjoying the experience. And that's the main thing about it. Y'all see my Warriors get a win? Did y'all see that? I didn't have anything on the docket to talk about, man. I'm just kind of talking about all the stuff that just pops up in my head right now. So whatever comments y'all got, whatever's on y'all brain, feel free to talk about that as well too, so we can just kind of vibe. I may only have one cigar today. I know if you know is in here. I know he's gonna say, smoke another one. I did bring it back up. I was gonna keep it all soccer. But I kind of changed my mind. I need to get through these Atabays. So if we're gonna smoke good, and if I'm gonna smoke, more than one cigar, the Atabay is gonna be the next up. Did y'all see the little Siglu episode that I just did? Did y'all watch that? Oh, we're gonna talk about that LeBron joint. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about that because I got some opinions on that, and it's not all negative. So I got some opinions on that. So we really gonna talk about that. I did the whole thing with Siglu just because I wanted to show love, man. I've been behind because one, I'm not doing reviews anymore, and two, Just with the move and just trying to get everything going, get everything set up, and get my equipment back and getting everything back in order. Like the audio on that video wasn't great. I hope everything came through clear. But I did want to show love to y'all, and shouts out to Germany. And I did want to show love to Siglu just because I really think it's brilliant. When he first sent me that, like, hey, I want you to do a review for this. I was real skeptical, man, because you get some, like, when you actually have a cigar channel, you get some weird people, coming at you to be a part of like their TV channel, or to do reviews for them and all that kind of stuff. And I was real skeptical. I was like, I don't know about this. But the more I sat back and thought about it, like the amount of cigars that I've had crack on me recently, or the issues that I had with those $40 placencias and all that kind of stuff, like cracking, breaking. All right, shouts out to you, Quincy. You said you watched that joint. It really kind of bothered me, like, that I was having these issues with the cigars, and I was like, yo, the more I think about it, this Siglu is actually kind of dope, and it's really a cool thing, and it's actually a smart idea. So the way he treated me behind the scenes, it was like, hey, take your time. He allowed me to take my time to get the video up. I know Pick Jimmy got his up kind of early, and I just thought, like, I made the promise to dude that I was going to do that. And the same way I made a promise to Carolina Blue Cigars that I was going to, showcase his cigars and whatnot too. I try to be a man of my word, and I try to keep up with that, especially when I feel like, I developed a rapport with you, and I didn't want to keep going without doing that. So he actually sent, he sent me 2 samples out. So I was like, I got to get this video out. But the more I took some time to actually work with it and to take a look at it, I really appreciated his product, man. So I wanted to show him some love, man. So it's kind of a weird space for me to be in, like, not getting paid for something, and actually, using my voice, using my platform for something, and to get other people paid. It's kind of a weird thing, but I really got to the point where it's like, yo, I respect what this team is doing with Siglu. I thought it was actually kind of cool, so that's why I did that. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up. So let me see what Quincy was saying. And, it's most definitely full bodied, surprising for Connecticut shade, wrapper, creamy, hay, cedar, coffee, and hella black pepper, great smoke. That actually sounds pretty good, dude. And just to kind of go back, he was talking about the GTO painkiller on that one. So if you know, was talking about LeBron, and he was saying LeBron is like only a few points away. I think he's like 20 something points away, because he scored really well the other night, man. He had a great game the other night, man. And I was really hoping that the Lakers were gonna lose to the Washington Wizards. I was gonna be clowning if that should happen. And LeBron turning to Steph Curry in that fourth quarter. He was just hitting 3 after 3, and I know he got like, then he get like 35 or 37 points. He got something. He like, in the first half he had like 14 points. He was having a bum ass game. LeBron was looking bad. The Lakers was looking bad. They weren't playing together as a team. It was a horrible game, and the Wizards was cooking him, and I was excited. But he really turned it on, and I got to give it to him, man. He had a really good game at the end of that game, and it put him really close to that 40,000 points. Regardless of how you see it, being able to score 40,000 points in the NBA is an immaculate feat. So I can't take that away from him. I really feel like a lot of his points, were kind of given to him on the free throw line, same way I feel about James Harden. That's really the only negative that I got to say about that. But it's going to be really hard for anybody to get to that record. The only people that I could see that could get anywhere close to it will probably be Luka Doncic, Steph Curry if he keeps playing for a few more years, and Kevin Durant. Right now, I don't see anybody else that's going to come anywhere close to that. And I would be amazed if anybody else reaches the 30K mark, honestly. So I can't really hate on LeBron for that. Like, as much as I despise LeBron, it's one of those things that kind of kill me, because that, all of these young cats that didn't get a chance to see Jordan and don't really appreciate, like, I just hate the way Steph is treated in the NBA, just in general. That kind of gives him a alley oop for the GOAT status. I don't think he deserves it, but when you score 40K points, that's a tough argument to beat, man. So that's kind of tough. So Peter said I'm gonna be sending you a box soon, unbanded cigar and a few extras. Yo, the thing, thank you, for sending it out, man. The thing that I'm most excited about is being on the Unbanded show. Like I know I said this on the last live, and I know I said this to you personally, but I really like what you fellas are doing with the Unbanded episodes, man. It's like it really gives people an appreciation on just how to smoke cigars. Because for me, just speaking in general about this cigar is getting really smooth right now too. I'm appreciating that at the heart. This is the best part of the cigar so far. But when you really like, bands are important only to be able to recognize like what you have in hand. And I love the eye candy. I love being able to to be attracted to the cigars. But I've been having this whole thing with Michael Herklotz and the Timeless and all of that. And I've been talking about Sanj Patel with his Industry Killers, how they don't have a band. And to me, they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum because I really think when you look at the Ferio Tego cigars and the Timeless cigars, they look amazing. The bands on them are really, they look great. And, just presentation wise, I think they do a great thing for cigars in general. And I really wish, you know, Sanj would just put a band on those cigars. Just something simple. I don't care if it's just color. It don't have to be anything like this that's extravagant. It don't have to be anything like Definition cigars that's extravagant or Ezra Zion. But when you actually take the band off, the whole point of the cigar is being able to, figure out what you're tasting on the cigars and to figure out if you really like the cigar in general. Because you can have a beautiful band all day long, but if your cigars are trash, then your cigars are trash. And that's kind of like what I've been getting from that whole Ferio Tego Timeless line. And same thing with Caldwell. They have beautiful bands. Like their marketing is genius. But what's underneath that band? So just what they're doing with cigars unbanded is just really cool. Just cool cats smoking a cigar and really taking the time to see what the flavor profiles are and really giving their honest opinion about a cigar. That's probably one of the most brilliant shows that is out there, and I really hope that show takes off and people really appreciate what y'all are doing for just cigar smokers in general to really appreciate the tobacco and what you got. So once again, cheers to you, Kumpai, man. Thanks for making that show, and I can't wait to be a part of it, bro. And I'm not even gassing at all. Coke Zero and $100 cigar. Sound like a good day to me. Said more banks are running towards crypto. Bank of America and Wells Fargo announced they'll be offering it. The Bitcoin ETFs broke the record stock market's record to 1 billion. You know what's so funny about that, man? Because I know a lot of people were kind of like fading away from the Bitcoin train. I didn't get on it because honestly, I had been following since like 2015, maybe 2014. I remember at the time that I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and I just so happened to be listening to um, what do you call it? Libertarian. I was listening to this libertarian podcast some years ago, and they were talking about like real underground for the Bitcoin thing, where you still had to mine for Bitcoin, and people were building their computers, and they were doing it for the underground market, the black market, and to kind of be off the grid and have their own currency based on that. I remember when it started as that. I was still a line cook at the time. This was before, like right before I became a butcher. So damn, it might have actually been 2013, 2014. And I was a dishwasher at the time when that whole thing was popping off. And I wanted to get into it, but I didn't think I had the technical savvy enough to really get on to the train. I didn't know anything about blockchains and all this other kind of stuff. I didn't have the mindset for it. But one of my homeboys back in North Carolina, I went to school with this cat. I know he became a millionaire off of Bitcoin, and I remember when it had really blown up, and then like what, maybe a year ago, it crashed, and everybody was losing money. So this homegirl I know that lives out in Montana, she popped up onto the Facebook page the other day, and she was just like, "Yo, I hadn't checked my Bitcoin in a while," and she was just like, "Yo, I got like 20K just sitting there right now that and it was down to nothing just the other day." So I saw that spike had come up, man. So it's a part of me that wish I had kind of jumped on that train to get into Bitcoin because I was there early. I just didn't put enough of my time and effort or my own money into it. And man, I was a cook at the time. Ain't like I had a lot of dough in anyway. So that's one of those things, man. I wish I had really kind of hopped on that, man, and just kind of had that just sitting and accumulating. But when it crashed, dude, it scared the bejesus out of me, man. And I don't know if that's gonna happen again. I know that you're saying that the banks are kind of getting into it. So I know that's if that's the case, it kind of defeats the purpose of what it was in the first place. It's a good thing if people are able to build a nest egg and to actually, you know, sustain themselves and to make a decent amount of money. That's just what do you call that? That kind of income when it's passive income. To really build passive income like that, I think it's a beautiful thing. But I'm not good at gambling, man. So the gamble part of it really is kind of like it's a scary thing for me, and to have a bubble burst and to gain that much money and to lose all that money at one time was really terrifying to me. But it kind of defeats the whole purpose. Like when before it was supposed to be anti-currency, it was supposed to be, so that the government wouldn't have their hands in your money and that people couldn't trace your money and all that. And now to see that it's basically becoming a part of a new currency that's just like any other currency is fascinating to me. And that was my initial thought on it. It's like, I don't know if this is going to be able to sustain itself as an underground currency. I don't think that's going to be able to last a long time. And it's kind of funny that that part came to fruition. I wish I could have had that same foresight to be able to, get into the technical side of it so I could actually get my hands on some of that to actually grow some income. But hey, c'est la vie, such is life, man. So he said Raspberry Beret is top flight. Just ordered two more, and the goat from Provider Club must try. I mean, honestly, Quince, man, I haven't really been. I haven't been rocking with Provider like that. I I don't want to like I've been really trying to stay out of trouble, like just kind of voicing my opinions. I didn't want 2024 to be like my 2023 where I just felt like I was in a lot of controversy for no freaking reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to stay out of that controversial part of it, but and I see and know what Provider is doing, and I understand it, but it's just really hasn't been my lane. But if I ever come across those cigars, man, I would try them, and I'll see what they're about. But just I'm trying to parse my words here. It's like it really hasn't done anything for me in a way from that particular brand to make me intrigued and go on and look at their site and to see what cigars they're pushing and what's out there. I really don't have a lot of knowledge on the cigars that they have because the cigars that I've tried after Brian came on to the new wave, which is now the infamous podcast. Go like and subscribe to Infamous if you haven't liked and subscribed to us recently. Go check that out. But it was a really good show, and it was a really good conversation with Brian, and it really gave me a lot more insight on how his brain works and how the company operates. But what it did not do was make me fall any more in love with Pravada than I was before. It didn't really give me a lot of confidence to say that I want to get back into trying a lot of LCA cigars and a lot of Pravada cigars. And I think just in general when it comes to Pravada, I got a lot of scars just kind of dealing with that brand and the people who are associated with that brand. You feel me? Especially when somebody really try to use me to prop up their cigar release and to try to get more attention off of that. And I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a dude that I used to have a whole lot of respect for promoting a cigar that I have no respect for, and the whole thing behind that cigar was based on something that I said, kind of in jest, and they kind of used me to promote their cigars, and it was just like it felt nasty, man. It felt real disgusting, and I just didn't want to be associated with that anymore. And I'm noticing, just like we're talking about this now, that a lot of people are dropping off of this live, and I need to stay away from that, man. I don't want to get in a lot of trouble with that, man. If you know, you said it. You said I knew about it in 2012 and jumped on it in 2014 when I understood what it was about. I got Ethereum, and it's beginning in 2015. I remember when Ethereum and Doge and all that stuff. I remember when all these different coins was started to come up. And really, the only two that I've seen that had kind of really stayed around that had any kind of staying power was Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's too late for me to jump on the train now, I think. Especially when I thought about it when everything crashed. Like, do I jump in while it's low right now? But I don't really think that that's the world for me, man. I just don't think that's really gonna work for me, man. I'm kind of old school. I'm not money under the mattress old school, but I'm not too far away from that. You feel me? But I do want to get to a place where I got more passive income. That's something I've been thinking about. I want to have a lot more in a portfolio that's going to be liquid and something that I can utilize to keep food on the table, and to keep us to be able to travel back and forth to the United States and all of that. But I don't know, man. I can't front. Just when it comes to uh, artificial intelligence, and when it comes to this virtual money, it's a scary thing to me, man. It, I'm really a tactile person. I like to be able to touch my yen. I like to be able to touch my dollars, and I like to be able to have direct access to it. And it's so many black hats out there that it kind of makes me nervous. But sometimes you got to walk on the wild side, man. You got to be able to to trust the evolution of things, and you got to be able to trust the technology. But my brain, the only thing when I see those things, the only thing I can think of is Skynet. And I was talking with a homeboy about that. Kendall back. What up, man? Thanks for coming back in, homie. Um, it's kind of one of those things that kind of makes me nervous, man, because I think about the Terminator, bro. Quincy, I'm glad you're feeling me, man. I'm glad you kind of understand where I was coming from with that whole provider thing. I know right now I'm trying to be more open and trusting. And you guys have been following lately. My whole thing has been experimenting with cigars that I didn't really enjoy at one point in time, and then trying to experiment with a lot of newer brands and new stuff, like because I know that Psalm cigar just recently come out, and that's when I think Matt just did a review on that one. That's when I'm curious to try to see how this brand is gonna do. You know, um, I want to get more into like West Tampa. I want to see what Rick Rodriguez is doing on his end. Getting into Sanj Patel cigars has been nothing but a good thing. So I really want to see and not just focus on a lot of these brands that I trust. You have your brands that you fall back on, right? I know I can trust Espinosa. I know I can trust Foundation. I know I can trust Fuente. I know I can trust Crown Heads. For the most part, I feel like with Room 101, Tatuaje, there's a lot of staples that are in this industry that you can kind of lean on and you can rely on, that it's going to be. Oh, Ash finally dropped. I know it's a lot of different brands out there that you can rely on, but you got to be able to give new people an opportunity, and you got to be able to give new people a chance to kind of grow into the cigar industry so they can form a legacy for themselves. I like what Black Star Line is doing. I like Definition right now. I like seeing what they're doing. So I really want to kind of focus on putting some newer cigars into my humidor, and seeing what can develop from some of the newer names that are on the market. And I think going back to Pravada, I think if Brian really tried to focus on that instead of focusing solely on the marketing side and trying to be the new cool hip brand, if he was like using Pravada to really put a lot of names on the map and to get people into uh, and to really shine a spotlight on these brands, I think Pravada could get back into some of the more trusted graces that that it fell out from. Because if you think 2 or 3 years ago, people had really fallen in love with Pravada, and they fell in love with LCA, and they fell in love with the fact that they could go to that website and they could try some new cigars, and they could try cigars that they're not seeing, in their brick and mortars, and that are not getting, a lot of the love that you're gonna get from, let's say, um, Cigar Aficionado or from Cigar Coop. You can go there and you can try new cigars and you can find out new brands and new people. And but I just don't. I think he kind of lost sight of that. He really could have developed a great rapport with a lot of people and put a lot of people on the map. But I think him being a salesman all the time and being a car salesman all the time, he lost a lot of the respect, from a lot of the people in the industry. And he really could have really, shaken a lot of hands and rubbed a lot of shoulders and really like been a jumping off point or a catapult for a lot of different brands. And I hate that he kind of lost sight of that. So I don't know. That kind of bothers me. He said, "I just joined. What up, roast beef? Where are you? I'm in Japan, and I'm in Sasebo, Japan. It's 8:45 p.m. So right now, I think it's about 1. It's almost 2 o'clock for me in the afternoon. So that's if you're kind of new to my channel, and if you're kind of new here, I'm just a brother in Japan and enjoying the life out here and enjoying cigars, and that's why like it's broad daylight out here for me. So Kendall said, "I'm no longer in the Pravada Cigar Club. I have been with them since they started the company." Yeah, you've been rocking with them for a long time, man. So what made you decide to kind of back away? He said Brian is a used car sales in the used. Yeah, man, and I don't want to say this like I'm coming off like I'm trying to diss Brian or not. But when I spoke to him personally, the thing I said to him, I was like, dude, you're a salesman and you're a bullshit artist. And I'm not saying that I wasn't saying that to be rude, even though that's not like the nicest comment, but that's just a real observation on how he does things and how the people who are we are Pravada and the people who really follow him, it kind of came into that hype beast mode more than it did become into a cigar business. You feel me? Does that make sense? And I guess for me, after Dave Lafferty was just in here, and he's the VP for sales with with Dunbar Tobacco and Trust, and he's just a real down to earth dude, and he's very business oriented. And same thing when I talked to Sam, the sales rep for Crux Cigars. The more I talked to them, the more I could appreciate how much they love their company and how much they have faith in their cigars and their brand. And it wasn't about just trying to sell, sell, sell. They're trying to sell you the company and not trying to sell you an image. And that stood out for me. And that's one of those things that that's what I gravitate to when I look at a business. I look at like how you treat your business and how you treat your product and how and not just the marketing side of it, how you're treating your consumers as well too. What up, Tom? So that is one of those things that made me kind of like push away from the provider table. But I still feel like if he really tried to, he could really, blow up a lot of different cigar brands out there and could really do some cool stuff. So roast beef asks, what is my take on Cigar Page? The way I look at Cigar Page, man, is I've talked about this before. To me, I kind of look at it like a surplus store. And if you go into the military surplus stores, it gives you it's like a big warehouse, you know, and you got a lot of different things. And if you take the time, you can find some really cool deals, and you can find some stuff in there that you can't really get everywhere, or it's just, you know, they're selling a lot of stuff in bulk, right? So I don't have anything against Cigar Page. You know, it's a lot of cigars that you can get from there. You get like a lot of Ave Marias and a lot of stuff like that, where you can get a whole lot of bundles, and you can get a lot of stuff on discounts. And I feel the same way about Cigar Bid. If you're really trying to go and you're trying to get a whole bunch of cigars at a really good price, and you're just trying to fill your humidor, every now and then you might come across like a Master Blend 3, or you might come across something from Oliva or something like that, where you can really get cigars at a good price. Or they might have another box of cigars that you really like. They might have Chinchale at a really good price. So I feel like if you're really looking for deals, then Cigar Page is the place to go. I don't really buy cigars like that. Every now and then I might try to find some 5 packs and stuff like that, but for the most part, like, I'm gonna go for my favorites, or I'm gonna go and buy cigars, you know, in singles. So for me, I stay more focused on something like Fox cigars, Corona, and Neptune is my number one go-to. You know, you got a couple of other, you know, but you know, that's the way I look at it. I don't have any beef against Cigar Page. I don't have anything against it, and I feel like it definitely has a place within the cigar websites and the online stores that is really going to be beneficial to a lot of people. If there are people who like, budget cigars, they like bundle cigars, or they like getting deals and filling their humidor, then Cigar Pages and Cigar Bid is the way to go. That's the best that I can give on that. I hope that is a good answer for you. And no doubt, man, I show everybody love that comes in here, man. Like everybody, that comes on and has subscribed and watches the Vintage Cigar. This whole channel is about community, man. So like I try to see everybody as an individual here, and not just as a random icon or just a random name, man. It's like, you got people in here like Peter M. You got Shock that was just in here earlier. Kendall is my homie. Stick God. If you know, you know. It's so many people. Peter with Cigar Collective. People that just been rocking with me for a long time, man. So like, come in here, feel at home, kick back, smoke a cigar, and let's talk some cool stuff. John is up in here. My man Dave is up in here. What up? What up, people? So Dave just said, thanks for the pack, bro. Smoked everything but the Patel. So what's been your favorite so far, man? What's been the cigars that I sent out to you that really stood out to you? I try to give you a really good variety of cigars. Everything, for the most part that I gave you had a lot of age on it. So that could be either, a detriment or a benefit. So I'm really curious to see what you got around to that you really appreciated, man. So let me know what you thought about those cigars. Um, my man John is up in here, Cigar Alchemist. Said, what up, man? Smoking the Davidoff Year of the Dragon, split right at light up. Hey man, ain't nothing changed, man. Like ain't nothing changed with those Zodiac cigars, bro. That made me laugh for real, man. I'm out when it comes like it's nothing about those Zodiac and Year the Dragons and Year this. Like I'm not into those cigars, man. Just because of that fact, man. It's just I'm not spending all that money just so they can give me a cigar that's gonna break. It's a gimmick, man. I'm just not with it. Hopefully this one was more flavorful than a lot of the other ones, though, John. He said the LFD threw me for a loop. It was so funky, it tripped me out. I, that's kind of what you can expect from LFD, man. LFD is a very robust and dank and very full body cigar, man. I love LFD though, so I can see how that one would kind of throw you for a loop a little bit. What's the pricing like in Japan? Are you talking about the pricing for cigars? If you're pricing cigars here, man, like I get this question a lot, so I'm gonna try to simplify it for you as much as I can. The pricing has changed a little bit in recent years, just because the cost of Cubans have gone up so much, and a lot of the focus on the cigars here in Japan is going to be Cubans, Davidoff, Fuente, Plasencia, Rocky Patel, and Drew Estates. That's kind of like the main focus of what you're gonna get. You know, Davidoff is gonna be expensive. You know, Cubans are gonna be expensive. But the way that they regulate cigar pricings here, based on the government, everything is government controlled, and everything has like, say for instance, if there's gonna be a Fuente Ida Sharp, if it's gonna be $30 or 3,000 yen, if you're gonna get that um, in Tokyo, if you go all the way up north to Hokkaido, if you go all the way down to Okinawa, they're all going to be that same 3,000 yen until they change the price range. And when it changes in one place, it changes all the way around. That being said, you usually can get some really good cigars, from anywhere to like 1,200 yen to anywhere to like up to like maybe 4,000 yen, something like that. Just kind of give you a broad price range. Now, you normally if you're doing a 1-to-1, then that's going to be like anywhere from like $12 and maybe a little bit less than that, all the way up to about 40-50 dollars, somewhere in there. Like the Siglo Destino from Arturo Fuente, that was the only one that I saw that was about 5,000 yen. So when that was a 1-to-1, that was like a $50 cigar out here. That being said, the yen rate is really low right now. It's about 150 to the dollar. So you can get everything at pretty much a discounted price if you know what you're looking for. Where I am right now in South Japan, there's not a lot of options. There are not like a lot of cigar lounges where I can go and just go get cigars, because their culture, they're more about cigarettes than they are cigars here. So the shop that is nearby, there's a cigar lounge that's here. Everything is marked up to like 150%. So I don't go there. I got like a pilon from CAO the other day, and that thing was normally like a $6 or $7 cigar. Anywhere else was almost $20 for that cigar. So imagine what it costs to get a Cuban out of that spot. It's almost like $60 just to sit in the lounge and smoke a Cuban. I just wasn't with it. I'm just not spending that much on a cigar. I say that right now as I'm smoking on $100 cigar, but shouts out to Peter for that, because I wasn't paying for this. That's just a little bit outside of my price range. So the only reason why I would go back to that lounge right now is that if anybody came to visit me here in Japan, then I would go out and splurge. I would go sit in there and I would smoke the cigars that they have on deck, and I would smoke. But I'm okay with spending money in that sense, where I'm spending money on people and we're going for the experience to sit in a really dope lounge in Japan. But to buy cigars for myself, I'm not paying 100%, 150% on an extra cigar. It's just not worth it. So Dolce asked, the group, has anybody else tried the freestyle kit from Do It Straights? I'm loving them. I've been hearing, decent things about it. I haven't tried it. Texas Torres, what up, Texas? Said he wished that he had snagged one. Did they sell out or something? Have they already sold out, or is that like a limited thing? I didn't really get into that, so I didn't even look into too much of what it was about. I've been seeing it and just kind of going based on word of mouth. So I don't know a lot of what's happening with that. And I'm glad you like the LFD, man. And saying that to Dave, like I really dig LFD, and it's really an impressive cigar just in general. And I tried to give you one that I thought was good, so I'm glad you appreciated that, man. I don't even have a lot more LFDs going right now, man. I got the one that's been aging for like since 2006 or 2016, whichever one that I think it was 2006 that Sanj sent out to me. So I can't wait to smoke that one. I'm really kind of excited to see that. And I got, 2 more Andalusian Bulls that are left around. That's all I got left of the Andalusian Bulls, and I can't wait to smoke those soon. Have you have to temper your cigars like you do chocolate. That's a good way to put it, man. I see the analogy that you got there. I'm not really mad at that. I agree with that. He said, "Nah, man, you're not spamming, man. Like this, I didn't really have like sometimes when I come in here. What up, Hugo? when I come in here, man, I have stuff to talk about right now. So just spam whatever questions you got, man. Whatever questions come up, man. It's a lot easier right now to actually have a conversation with y'all since I didn't have a lot on the docket. Shouts out to everybody that hit that like button. We got 20 people in here, 20 likes. So that's love right there. Thank y'all, man. So it means I never really been in a live video where I'm actually being acknowledged. Well, feel free, man. Like everybody that's up in here, man, it's all fam, and this is what we do, man. This is why I do these lives, so I can actually sit back and have a conversation with you guys and smoke good cigars with you. That's the whole concept behind the channel and behind these lives. That's why I continue to do it. I'm not doing the reviews anymore. I really appreciate a lot more just being able to chop it up with y'all and build a relationship and build a community, man. So spam away, man. Whatever questions you got, that's what we do here. So usually everybody in the comments, they talking back and forth with each other, and y'all talking with me, man. So that's how we gonna roll with it. My homie up in here, Hugo, man. Thanks for showing up, bro. Appreciate you. He said, yeah, the lounge near me is 6,000 yen for a Bolivar. Yeah, see, that sound about right. It's nuts, man. And everything when it comes to the Cubans are like so expensive right now, especially like when you're trying to go into a lounge. If you're trying to enjoy a Bolivar, or if you're trying to enjoy, something from Ramona Alonez or Oya de Monterey or Monte Cristo, you're gonna pay upwards in the 6,000, 5,000 yen, and it's just not worth it, bro. And I love Cubans, but I'm just not trying to spend that much, man. Unless I'm really just in a vibe and I'm out, I'm eating some yakitori, and I'm going to hang out with some homies and just actually try to catch a vibe while they drink and I got my tea. Then I'll spend a little bit of money, but I'm only gonna smoke like 1 or 2 cigars. And usually when I'm doing that, I try to get something that's probably in the Davidoff range, and I might spend 2,500 yen or something like that. That's really the most that I will do while I'm out here in Japan. I would rather just buy my own cigars and then smoke on my own. I miss being in that Tokyo region though, because you had so much more variety in Tokyo. I forget which area you're in, but when I was in Shibuya, man, it's so many different lounges in Shibuya. You can actually find some value and actually find some really good cigars at a decent price range, and not break your pockets just trying to instead of spending like $60 on a cigar. It's crazy. Stick God said, appreciate you, bro. About to check out, man. Thank you for joining in, man. I appreciate you, man, for just being a part of it, man. You the homie. Keep killing it with your channel. Everybody go check out Stick God Travels. Watch his reviews. Like and subscribe. Show the homie some love, man. So Kendall said, I have a 2024 Drew Estates freestyle. Have you smoked the freestyle yet, though? I would like to know what your opinion is on that. So Ben is up in here, man. Ben Smoking, y'all go check out his channel too. He just getting into, building his channel with reviews. Give some feedback. Show some love and some likes on his channel too, man. So support the reviewers that are out there and the growing cigar community, man. It's a lot of haters out here, and genuinely haters, not just throwing that word out there. It's genuine haters. We don't do that here at the Vintage Cigar. We show love to everybody that is really trying to develop their palates and to build a community. That's what we're gonna keep doing. That's how we rock it. Yo, so that GTO got some strength on it, huh, Quince? You feeling a little bit, huh? He said he's smoking the Casano P1 Maduro. I haven't had that cigar. It was a budget? No, yeah, that's probably why I hadn't had it. I don't really be doing a lot of the budget cigars, but it's an affordable broadleaf. So how you like that cigar, Ben? Was it pretty good, man? So Roast Beef said he got the Victor St. Clair Legacy. That was supposed to be a box press, but it was round. I hope it ain't too moist, man. Because sometimes you can get a lot of moisture on your cigars, and that box press turned into a Parejo real fast. Said it's actually not bad. It's actually not as bad as others from the pack I got a couple years ago. So hey, as long as you enjoying it, he said okay. So Dave said he up in Shinjuku. I love that area too, man. Yeah, man, I love Shinjuku. when I was there, man, I spent a lot of time in Shinjuku, Harajuku, Shibuya, Minato Marai, and the Taito area. So I bounced around in Tokyo a little bit, man. Sooner or later, man, I'm gonna make my way up there. You and I can just go chill, man. Go check out some sneakers, and just smoke some really good cigars, man, and hopefully eat some good food, man. I hope to make my way back up there in a minute. Smoke a Gurkha unicorn. I don't think that's possible to find, bro. And I'm not gonna go out there and try to find that unicorn either. He said, "What cigar made you love Cameroon?" Easy, man. That's the eye of the shark and the Don Carlos, man. It's the top Cameroon that's out there. But I will say this, man. It's a lot of Cameroons that I love. I love the Aladino Cameroon. Um, Even the Oliva G Cameroon is actually pretty decent for an Oliva, man. It's pretty decent. Um, and of course, the Sanj Cameroon is money. I've smoked so many, that I just love getting the sweetness from the Cameroon. It's just a good balance of sweet, spicy. It's just a really good cigar, man. Usually when you got a good Cameroon leaf, man, you got something good going. So Kendall said I have not smoked any of the Drew Estates freestyles. I'm letting them get the right humidity. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. My personal belief, you should be able to just get that cigar and smoke it right away. And if it's shipped right to you, if it's in that 69 to the 62%, it should be good. But I'm never mad at anybody trying to get their cigars, like you said, and temper them the right way, like you said, and temper them like it's chocolate. So I'm never mad at that, man. Just when you smoke that cigar, if I'm not on the live, man, shoot me a DM, man, and let me know what you think about that. I'm curious, just because like I didn't look into that whole thing a lot. I don't know what it was about the branding, man. It's just something about it that just didn't, pop out to me to make me say like, yo, I want to smoke this cigar. But I'm not against it at all. So I don't want to sound like I'm anti freestyle or anything like that. It just hasn't come across to me in the point where I felt like I needed to go buy it or I needed to go hunt it down or something like that. I just wasn't in that place. I said, yeah, let's definitely smoke sometime, man. Should a trip down there wouldn't be bad either. Hey, I think the move is, man, if you make your way down here, let's bounce around in Fukuoka, man. It's real easy to get up there. I ain't gonna say it's real easy, but it's easy to get up to Fukuoka, and it's a lot more to do in Fuk, man. We can go out there to what's that spot called where they got the street markets? Is it Taite? Is it Taite? I can't remember. It's like when they got the food markets that are right on the block. I think it's the cigar lounge that's right there near Hakata. So we can go out there and vibe, man. If you come down here, I come up there. Either way, we can just go and vibe, man. Just see what's cracking. I like the LFD double Ligero too, man. But we got people like Peter that just been hating on a lot of really good cigars lately, man. Peter with Cigar Collective. He been trolling a lot of people, man. He been giving a lot of people hard times, man. That double Ligero is solid, bro. So I don't know why we got people, just disparaging that cigar, especially when they got a good palate. I don't know why they would do something like that, but it's a lot of that popping off right now. Yeah, no doubt, Quincy. That's money. He said, "You mean telling the truth?" Nah, man. You see you out on the limb right there with that double D Hero, man. I do want to know, man. Before I get to this next comment, I do want to know, Peter, what didn't you like about that cigar? Was it too earthy for you? Was it too much of that, that real earthy Ligero profile? Was it too dark and dank for you? Earth and muted. Okay, I can kind of. It is really earthy. It is earthy. But for me, man, it gives you I like the robust full bodiness of the smoke, man, and I like the earth profile on that. So I'm not mad at it. So I feel you. But normally, man, you do well with the dark cigars, man. So I'm just kind of shocked at that one, man. Uh, what was my man Roast Beef saying? He said, "Have you been around the area where Fukushima meltdown happened? If so, is it fucked up over there?" I hadn't had a chance to get up there. That was a little bit north of me when I lived in the Kanto region, uh, and I just never made it up there because I did want to check out Fukushima, but I just never had a chance to travel that far. Because where I was, I could hop on a train, and in about an hour and 30 minutes, I could have been, in Tokyo. So I spent a lot of that time in Tokyo, uh, Yokohama, and Kawasaki. That's really like because they were only like 30 minutes and an hour and 30 minutes respectively away from me. So it was a lot easier for me to travel there. Having a wife and kids, man, and trying to run a channel at that time, I was really heavy into my While I'm in Japan channel and the vintage cigar. So I really had enough time to really just kind of take the time off to go to Fukushima like I wanted to. While I'm here, I want to get to Hiroshima and into Nagasaki proper because that's the prefecture that I'm in right now. I've been to Beppu and I've been to, I want to get to Kumamoto. And it's a lot of cool places here in Japan that I want to check out, man. But honestly, dude, it's so much happening like in Japan. And there's so much history and culture here that it's so hard to get to everything. A lot of people, I found that a lot of the tourists have a lot better time, seeing a lot more places in Japan than I actually get to see because they plan a trip for like 2 weeks and they come out here and they bounce around to all the different cities and different locations and they get to, kind of explore. But me, I like to get familiar with the areas that I'm in. And, so I've been to places like Ito and Shimoda. Shimoda was love, man, just to kind of sit back and go to the beaches and stuff out there. But it's really hard when you actually live here to really, stop what your everyday life is. With me, I'm pretty much a stay-at-home dad right now. So making sure my kids are playing sports and doing their homework and I'm taking them around and traveling and doing all that kind of stuff. It's really hard for me to just to get out on my own and just say, hey, I'm gonna disappear for a day or two to just go and go to some of these places unless I'm doing like a family trip or something like that. And my wife works a lot. And so it's really hard for us to just kind of bounce around and to get into all those places like that. But, if you ever get a chance, there's a guy, uh, God, why am I forgetting his name? Chris Abroad. Chris Abroad. If you ever want to see like what Japan is really like, from a gaijin, from a foreigner's perspective, to really just kind of, make your way around Japan. His channel is brilliant, man. And he does a lot of really cool stuff on Fukushima and a lot of stuff like that, man. So it's really worth it to go out and check out his channel. And that's a way to explore Japan without actually having to be here, if that makes sense. Yeah, man, I hear what you're saying, Peter, about the size of the cigar. So that could have really made it a difference. Did you have the a Toro or a Churchill? So Kendall said, I got my Drew Estate Freestyle from a cigar shop. They did not have them in the humidor. Okay, smart move. Yeah, you got to definitely let those acclimate. What do I think about Japanese drill music? I love Japanese drill and hip hop, man. If you get a chance, check out this chick by the name of Awich. She got a couple drill tracks and she rocks with a couple of the rappers. There's another guy that I just saw the other day that was killing it. I'm sorry right now, I can't think of a lot of the names, but when I get a chance, I'll send those to you, man. The music culture out here in Japan is love anyway, man. Just as far as like the pop, the city pop, the R&B, the hip hop, they get down, man. There's some soul out here. They got some really good reggae artists and reggae bands and stuff out here. So I got nothing but love for the Japanese musical culture out here, man. It's dope. He said he finally got an Umbagog, gonna smoke it this month, man. I think you're gonna enjoy that Umbagog. I know Saka just released a new Umbagog, and I want to try that out and see what that's cracking. The Umbagog for me, man, if I'm gonna be smoking budget cigars, I really think that's one of the ways to go. The Umbagog is love. It's kind of like having a real full body Mika Mikarita. And if you dig the Mikarita, you will love the Umbagog. Where am I from? How did you end up in Japan? To give you the simple story, a six by 60. God, okay, yeah, that's too much for me, man. I don't think I would enjoy that either. But I don't know. I got to try it. But yeah, having a ring gauge that big. But I'll try to simplify this answer for you, man. My wife works with the Navy. we're completely civilian, and so we got a chance to come out here on a contract to live and work in Japan, and that's how we got here. Originally, I'm from North Carolina and Virginia. I'm from Eastern North Carolina and Eastern Virginia. The places where I grew up are about 2 hours apart, and that's pretty much where my family has been based. You know, the roots of my family come from Eastern North Carolina and Eastern Virginia. So I spent a lot of time in Hampton Roads and East Carolina. So that's home for me, man, and that's how I got here. Quincy asked, did I ever try sake? So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a Japanese lesson. So sake or osake in Japan only means alcohol. So I think most people when they speak of sake as foreigners, as gaijin, they're usually talking about like the little cups of uh, the rice liquor as sake, but really in here it only means alcohol. So if you're talking about whiskey, bourbon, if you're talking about like hibiki or anything like that, Kyoto whiskey, anything like that that is that shochu, chuhai, all of that stuff is considered sake. It's alcohol. So beer, anything, all of that is sake. So that's just a little thing. So if you're coming to Japan and you're requesting sake, then you're just requesting alcohol. So you got to be really specific about what type of alcohol that you're looking for. So just kind of keep that in mind. But for us as Americans, the same way we kind of bastardize sushi, we did the same thing with sake. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I don't drink liquor at all. There is a Japanese wine that I absolutely love that's out here. The most alcohol that I would drink is a rare, very rare. Rarely I would drink a beer, and I love wine. I drink a lot of wine. So there's a wine in Yokohama that's called Yama Budo. Yama means mountain. Budo is grapes, so mountain grape. So that thing is juicy, is full bodied, and it's absolutely delicious. So if you ever get a chance to find some Yama Budo, especially from the Yokohama region, it is outstanding and it's phenomenal. And that's really what I kind of fall back on. But when it comes to like, I just sent my brother in Charlotte, North Carolina. I just sent him for his birthday. I sent him um, some Kyoto whiskey. So he hasn't popped it open yet. So I can't really tell you what it's like. I don't really drink liquor at all, so I'm not the one that's really gonna be able to help with that. Oh, he said he's from Shelby, man. I think I was in Shelby only like once. He said Peter smoked that thick and juicy. Word up, Spice. Spend money on happy Japanese endings. I can't tell you that if you come to Japan, if you want to get into the hentai culture, it is you can spend your money on it if you want to. It is plenty of opportunity to be happy in Japan if you want to do that. I'm not gonna go into that here on this channel, but if you want to come to Japan and if you want to be very happy and you want to be hentai, you can do that if you want to. It is not hard. Yeah, that Tomodachi team. Yeah. I just saw them the other day. That's the crew that I was thinking about. That's one of the that I would have sent to you. That track that I heard from them was money. They're super dope. And I know that's floating all around the interwebs right now, Kendall. So yeah, and just so you know that Tomodachi means friend in Japanese. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do with that, but I used to live probably like maybe 30, 45 minutes from Chiba. And Chiba is love, man. I liked it out there. He said your grandfather was stationed out in Okinawa. Okinawa is love, man. I went there maybe 2 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year, so I think it was 2 years ago now. But I only spent time down there once, man. But Okinawa is a completely different culture than what you get from like mainland Japan, and especially with the amount of Americans that are down there, and they have a completely different history You know, a lot of them don't even consider themselves to be fully Japanese. You know, they kind of have their own culture, their own style, but it's a lot of us gaijin that was stationed down there, man. And you know, it's a whole lot of history and politics and stuff that I could really get into when it comes to Okinawa. But if you ever get a chance just to go down there, man, I have fun. Just kind of, but and damn, man, it might have been longer than that because I think we were still dealing with a whole lot of the Corona issues when I was down there in Okinawa. So I didn't get the experience that I really wanted. But I spent some time in American Village. I went into a few of the izakayas that were down there, and all the people that I ran into in Okinawa, everybody was super cool. Everybody was real down to earth, and it was just kind of cool, like just to go into a bar or uh, a taco rice spot or something like that, and just meet the people and just kind of chill. A lot of them can speak English. Some of them didn't, and even if they didn't, they would try to communicate. Man, it was just real cool, man. I had a great time in Okinawa, man. Okinawa is love. It's a lot, man. As far as just kind of being in Japan, man, and just kind of getting a feel for the people and trying to get the language down. I've been really putting a lot of focus on trying to learn the language here. My Japanese teacher, she's currently from this area. She grew up in Sasebo and speaks fluent English. She went to some of the schools that are down here. I forget how she's associated with a lot of the Americans here. She's 100% Japanese. She's in the fitness, and she's just a real cool person, man. So she's really been teaching me how to understand the grammar and to kind of put my Japanese vocabulary into actually formulating sentences and whatnot. I'm gonna get there, man. It's a difficult language to learn, but I feel like the more that I can learn the language here, the better my experience in Japan is gonna be. Um, it's just one of those things that I want to get that down, so I don't feel like I'm on the peripheries of Japan, because you know I'm into a lot of the point, cultures like kore, this, are, sore, like and I don't want to be doing that. I actually want to be able to actually talk to people and have some real good conversations. Like most of the people that I vibe with, so far, have to be able to speak a little bit of English, man, in order for me to kind of get around. And I don't want it to be that way, man. It's some really dope people here, man. Matt, what up, homeboy? Uh, he said, what's my shirt size? I would say anything from medium to large, man. Right now, I'm dropping weight right now, so anything medium or large, I can usually fit into. So appreciate the love, man. I saw you got the merch going. Speaking of, y'all go support my man at Cigar Hound Dog. He just released his merch. He got some really dope stuff, man. I'm glad to see my man's channel just taking off. Y'all know Matt. Y'all know the Hound Dog, man. He's one of the best people out there. So go support the homie. And the merch looks good, bro. Like straight up and down. Woof woof. God, I'll let you pick, man, because I don't know what like cigar nerd. God, OG logo. Or the woof woof. I'm gonna let you pick. I'm gonna let you pick. Whichever one you pick, I'm gonna roll with it because I feel like all of them work. How big is Dragon Ball and Pokemon? It's big, man. It's big, man. Like all the stuff that's big to to us, like Demon Slayer and Dragon Ball, Akira, and all that kind of stuff. It's big out here, but it's like I'm not really like super into anime. But if you go into places like Akibahara, or if you go into like the Watmans or the book offs or all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's rows and rows of manga, and there's rows and rows of like Japanese trading cards and all that kind of stuff, and all the statues and all that. Gundam, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that you can find, if you are into anime, and if you're into manga, and if you're into that whole culture, you can find just about everything you want. And they really like support that whole culture out here. Um, back in 2020 or 2021, we were out in Shibuya, and I was out there with my kids, and my son had on a Pokemon shirt, and he loves Pikachu. And this lady just kind of stopped by. She just came by and talked to us about Pokemon. She talked to my kids about Pokemon because she was really into it. So it's out there, man. It's not me because like um for me like I'm more into like I like the Kira and I like Fist of the North Star, and so I'm kind of like old school. I kind of I dig the Demon Slayer stuff, but I don't really get into it. Attack on Titan when I first got here was really big. There was a spot in Yokohama. There was a mall out there that had I think I put some pictures up. If you go back through my community, you can see some of the pictures that I put up of the Gundam and the Attack on Titan balloon statues that they had up at one point in time. So that's not just dedicated just to the gaijin. They really are some otaku cats out here that are really into the manga culture and the nerd culture. It's just not my thing. I don't know enough about it myself. I'm more here for just the people and the food. That's really my lane. I love going out and trying different teas. I love going out and trying the different yakitori spots and the okonomiyaki and the taco balls and all that kind of stuff. Like that's like mainly when I'm going out into the cities. I'm trying to see what the food is like, and I'm trying to see what the malls are like. I'm trying to see what the sneaker culture is like. Going into the Uniqlo's and going and just see what like how people are dressing, checking out the Avirex stores and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to like the manga, I appreciate it and I look for it sometimes. I might go try to see if I can find like old Famicoms and old games and stuff like that. But I don't really get into the anime and otaku culture. I'm not really big on that. I check out the music when I can, stuff like that. Have I seen Ariana Mamiko? I've only seen her like in pictures and stuff like that. Like and honestly, dude, the funny thing about like anybody who is into modeling and stuff like that, when you see them in pictures, they're completely different when you see them like on the street. And a lot of people here still wear masks, and it's kind of like a what is the word that I want to use for this? Kind of like a monolithic culture. So a lot of people kind of dress the same, and a lot of women wear the same hairstyles, and so like I wouldn't recognize her if I saw her in public unless like I really knew her personally, because like people blend in so much here that I could have been in Tokyo and I could have spoke to her and walked by her and I never would have known, honestly. It's so hard unless you really know somebody personally, to pick out an individual unless you really know them. It's really a kind of a unique thing to see the way, like if you go into a lot of the stores here, a lot of the clothing is either going to be like very neutral tone or it's going to be like very hip hop influenced. And when you see the people dressed, like you can see a line of women and men, getting onto the train or getting onto the bus, and so many people look similar. They might have a similar hairstyle, and especially if they have a mask on, I really wouldn't be able to tell you who is who until you actually had a conversation with them and get to know their personalities. It's a fascinating thing. So what I was smoking was the Muesha de Saka uh, Unicorn. So it's $100 cigar. And shouts out to Peter from Cigar Collector for sending it out to me, man. I couldn't wait to smoke this cigar, and I finally got a chance to actually light this bad boy up. Good cigar. Is it worth $100? Hell no. But was it really good? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. The heart of the cigar was the best part of it. But you see the construction on it was money. I'm all the way down to the nub, so it's all good. That's what I had. So Quincy, you saying I should go with the cigar nerd? Hey man, we'll put that in as a vote for Matt, man. Shouts out to Matt even joining in here, man. That's the homie. Like I really got love for that dude, man. That's my homie. So the same way that I was rocking the Sanj Patel shirt, Y'all know I'm gonna be rocking that Hound Dog shirt all the time, man. I'm gonna rep my homie, man. I'm gonna rep all my peoples, man. And that's just the way that this cigar community should be. I was saying before, man, that I dropped weight. So the past few days before I came on this live, I've been fasting for. I fast for 72 hours, nothing but water and broth. When I started, I was 197 pounds. I am down to 180, 187 after like I refed and got some food back in my system. So I haven't like my belly's gone and I feel pretty good, especially now that I'm eating again. There's a Thai lady that makes some food out here. So when I'm done with y'all, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna eat some Penang curry. I'm gonna smash that. Well, you can see on my face like my dimple is showing a lot more. I'm getting skinnier, man. So um, I'm gonna try to keep this weight down. I'm probably gonna drop maybe 10 or 15 more pounds, and the rest I'm gonna put back on with some muscle. So I've been back in the gym. I've been shooting hoops. I've been lifting again. So we're gonna see, man. Hopefully by the summer I look like a completely different person. We're gonna see what happens. Tonight, man, when y'all are in bed, I'm gonna take the family. We're going to see Dune 2 tonight. Probably gonna get some yakiniku. I'm gonna kick back, man. I'm gonna eat really good. So we're gonna see how that rolls. Thank you to everybody that hit that like button. Pan is up in here, man. What up, man? How you been doing, brother? Yeah, man. Show some love to the homie, man. Grab a shirt and a mug, man. He got some really cool stuff that's going. Woof woof, man. Show love to the homie. So I'm just glad to see that brother doing really well, man. And he's in a space where people can really appreciate the cigar culture and they can really appreciate his delivery. So I'm glad to see people going out to support Cigar Hound Dog just in general. The man has really done a good thing for the cigar community, and I just wish more of these companies, man, would show a lot more love, man. The dude is almost at 20,000 subscribers on the cigar channel. Y'all know how hard that is to do. I just hit 4,000 just the other day, so that tell you right there. I think people should really be kind of supporting such growth and such talent that he should be everywhere right now. He should be doing interviews with with some of the larger names, and they should be really using him and spending money on him as far as marketing, and getting his insight and using his talent and his personality to really expand the cigar culture. They're not really doing that right now, and I don't know why there's this mindset that it's just like cigar reviewers are just on the periphery of the cigar community, because we really helped a lot of these companies grow to what they are, and the cigar nerd culture is really like influential. It's just kind of a weird thing the way that's kind of going right now. The cigar is really good, man. The cigar is it really got like really smooth. It was kind of rough around the edges as far as the on the palate, the peppers and the woods and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't get as much of the citrus notes that I usually got, from a lot of the Muestra de Sacas. But the way that it's kind of smoothed out and balanced out, the smoke profile was silky. So I got no complaints about the cigar, man. I just, I can't imagine. Honestly, let me put it this way: if it really came to the point of if I was going out to celebrate something with a cigar, would I use this cigar as my celebratory cigar? Nah, I wouldn't do it. I would grab a Julius Caesar sharp before I would grab this cigar as a celebratory cigar. You feel me? But if this cigar was at a standard price range, more so just like where you could get it for $15 to $16, I would smoke it a lot more regularly. But yeah, it's enjoyable. Uh, Dave, man, I was really kind of debating on whether I wanted to go back with another cigar or not, man. What you got? What you gonna light up if I do smoke another one, or if you're just gonna light up a cigar? What you lighting up? Let me know that first. The cigar that I have right now is this Atabey, and I've been really like in the mood to smoke Atabeys, and it's primed to be smoked again. But I got some other things that I wanted to do, so I'm kind of debating on, do I want to like actually go and be productive right now and handle some of the stuff that I need to handle, or do I want to light the cigar up and see what's happening with this Atabey? Is it better than the Soccer Con? By no means is it better than the Soccer Con. No, 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 no. Not even close. But that's just for me. Like, just kind of in recent years and some of the more recent releases for cigars, the not Atabey, the Soccer Con is just kind of it's like old reliable. That's one of the, like, other than the fact that it takes so long to smoke that cigar, it's really like one of the perfect cigars to just sit back and chill with and smoke. So it's not many cigars that right now that I would put above the Soccer Con. It's not many. Damn. Like I want to put this out and kind of start on this, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I haven't made a decision yet. So Sal is up in here. What up, Sal? He said, "Fuck it, bro. Let's smoke." All right, man. I'm gonna smoke a little bit with you. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I'm gonna smoke one with you. Let's get it going. Light up what you gonna light up. He said, "What up, Keelan?" He said, "I'm glad to see you on this live. Sorry I jumped in late. It's never too late, homie. I'm glad you jumped in with me. Have you ever smoked the Crux Epicure Connecticut?" I've had the Connecticut and I've had the Habano. It reminded me of a Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio CT. I was surprised. No, man, like Crux is getting busy, man. Crux is getting busy. I like that brand just in general. I haven't had a lot from the brand. I've tried a few things because we had a live with them, the New Wave cats, man. We had a live with Crux, and Sam, their sales rep, came on. He's real cool with Michael from Master Your Ash, and we sat down with him. Real down to earth dude, real chill, man. He had a great conversation, and he sent us out some cigars. So I had a chance to smoke the Connecticut. I had a chance to smoke the Habano, and I think it was one more. And I really love their cigars, man. And DJ had a good way, from Pick Jimmy, had a good way to describe their cigars. So they smoke really clean. So I've really been trying to uh, to hype up Crux just in general. So I'm glad that you had a chance to smoke that, man, and see what it was really about. I thought that it was really good. Just in general, I've been trying to show a lot of love to Crux, and I hope more people get on that, man, because I think they're doing really good stuff with their cigars just in general. All right, man. So I'm gonna do this real quick. So I don't really have a lot more to add into the conversation right now. I'll talk about this Atabey as I get into it a little bit. Y'all know I love Atabey, and I was kind of worried that I was growing some mold on my Atabeys, man, and they actually look pretty good right now. After I got a chance to clean them up and dry box them, so I'm not showing anything in here. So I'm just trying to make sure. I had to save them as much as I could, man. What I did wrong, and I talked about this before on my last live, is that when I was getting a lot of my cigars from Neptune. Neptune sends you out like a humidity pack that's really wet. So if you get that, take those out of your packs, and don't leave them with that, because it's really moist, and it's got to be well over 70% humidity with that. So they got a little bit too moist. So they've had some weeks to dry box. Mm, that's good. So I thought I was doing myself more of a service by kind of keeping these off by themselves. and keep them in that pack. And I actually did myself a disservice, so I almost ruined some really really good cigars that were a gift to me, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to make that mistake again. Yeah, Atabey, dude, I gotta try that Atabey Black, man. Everybody is hyping that Atabey Black up. I want to try that so bad. And so, Peter, do you think the Atabey Black is better than this iteration? Let me know what you think because I've been hearing nothing but high praise for the Atabey Black, man. I've been drinking, but if y'all spark up another, go grab that Don Carlos, man. I'm gonna sit here for probably another 30, 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and kick it with y'all and smoke, man. So let's get it popping, man. He said, "Oh, I just copped a pipe to smoke my cigars to the absolute end. I'm in the deep end. All right, man. So we waded in the waters. Then we out here deep." He said, "Yep." So Brendan just said, "I just got the Atabey Black, so excited when it's ready." Yeah, man. Like I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about that Atabey Black, and uh, Hound Dog damn near had an orgasm smoking that cigar, man. So it was kind of dope. Hey, yo, Innocent just said it's past your bedtime, Pete. What up, homie? How you been, baby? What you smoking on, man? Sorry, I lost my connection a bit. Thank you to everybody that hit that like button, man. I appreciate y'all for doing that, showing love to the lives, man. Y'all really do keep this channel afloat, and y'all really do keep me afloat, and being able to kick back and just enjoy a cigar, chilling with that Cameroon, man. You never can go wrong with that. You know I ain't mad at you for that, homie. There was another cigar that I was going to talk about that I just had the other day. Oh, because when Dave just mentioned that he was going to light up a pipe, and I know Peter's been smoking a lot of the pipes recently too. So I grabbed the my last Y22 um, Stillwell Star, man, and I do I do enjoy that cigar, and I don't think I'll ever get into the pipes. I don't think that's really my lane. It's just too much work for me. I don't really think I want to do that. But I love the aroma of the pipe tobacco. So I'm really glad that the Stillwell Star is doing really well. I haven't been hearing many good things about the year 23, but so I might stick to some of the year 22s if they still out there. But I like having the pipe tobacco in the humidor so I can go and kind of grab those from time to time. Just like the flavor profile on that is just really nice, and it's a really good thing to just be able to kick back. I don't know how much battery power I got. I got like 40%, so I can't stay out here too long. Let me see who tried to call me too. Hold on for a sec, y'all. Oh, that was the wife. All right, I'm gonna be in trouble, but it's all good. 29 likes, man. Thank y'all for showing the love, dude. All right, tell me about that Oreo, man, because I'm excited about that Oreo, dude. I'm really excited about that Oreo, and I'm hyped to try the silver too. I've been looking at everything that Sanj has been doing, man, and I love to see that his portfolio is growing so much, and I just love to see the pride that's just coming out of Sandra's smoke shop just in general, man. Just with the cigars that he's putting out there. So all of this is so creamy, man. Just getting into the cigar right off the bat, man. It's already creamy. It's just a nice profile. All right, so the Oreo Connecticut versus the RS88 Connecticut. Which way you going? Which one you leaning towards? Yeah, man, I'm still going, man. Yeah, I'm still going for probably another 30 minutes or so. We're gonna see how this goes. You're back in the college days. You were smoking the pipe, man. All right, I can't. It's really not my vibe, man. I dig it. I can see why people appreciate a good pipe. I love the smell of the pipe tobacco, though, man. It's alluring. It's really nice. It's just I don't see that for me. So he said right now he leaning towards that Oreo. Okay. trying to see who was showing up. Again, I just stepped away for a minute. So I got the classic Atabey right now. So my man Jerome, who's in Saudi Arabia, sent me a whole bunch of Atabeys, man. So I still got like maybe 4 or 5 of these left, maybe 4 now. And I almost ruined them, man. I almost ruined my cigar. So I know 2 of them are down bad, but I got I got 4 that survived. He said the Habano is best. Okay, well, I can't wait till they get here, man. I can't wait till I can light them up just to kind of see how that's going. Look, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. If you get a chance to spend your money on an Atabey, do it. It's not a lot of cigars that are in the 20, 30, $40 price range that I go off about. If the black is as good as Matt and Peter is saying it is, then go out there and grab those. If you can get it, get the OG Atabey, go out there and grab those, man. This cigar is just creamy. It's just is Cuban-esque. It's delicious, and the smoke body on this is just wonderful, man. I'm enjoying this. I'm like, just in comparison, to go from this cigar, go from the what was I just smoking? The Muestra de Saka Unicorn to this. This is where it's at. I'll take this any day. Yeah, man, I did see that, man. I think Pick Jimmy sent that out to us, man. That Caldwell sold out today to a pipe company. I'm kind of curious to see where that's gonna go. I didn't watch the whole thing. John, what up? I didn't watch the whole thing just because I didn't watch the whole thing. Let me say that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did try to get some clip notes on what he was doing. I saw that he sold out. Honestly, I hope it does better for the brand, and I hope they, can change it into something. Y'all know that I'm really not a big fan of Caldwell cigars. That's just not. It hasn't been my thing. Sound like he got a nice bag for doing that, and that might actually be a plus. I don't know what they're gonna do with the pipe tobacco. I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's something to put a pin in to see how that's gonna develop. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's gonna go. What was my first box? Honestly, man, like I don't buy a lot of boxes. That's just I just don't spend that much money on cigars in general to buy boxes. There's some cigars that I feel are box worthy, but the only box that I had a full box of cigars was sent out to me from Steve Saka. He sent me a box of 10 of the Todos Los Dias, and maybe a few years ago, I guess I bought a box of when I first got to Japan. I bought a box of Hoya de Nicaragua Epicure #1, and that's it. I just don't spend a lot on boxes, man. That's Peter. Peter's the one that, if you want to see somebody that's gonna buy a whole bunch of boxes of cigars, that's Peter. That's not really me. You have to be a collector in order to do that, and that's really not my lane. I'll get a few 5-packs, or I'll consistently buy some of my favorite cigars, but especially when I was doing reviews, it was really hard for me to think about spending that much money when I was trying to buy so many different cigars and to smoke and to review and break down for you guys. And before people started sending bombs and stuff like that, I probably had 40 cigars on me at a time max, because I smoke maybe 3 cigars a week. The only time you ever really see me smoking back to back like this is if I'm out and I'm with people smoking cigars, or if I'm doing it on a live and chilling with you guys and smoking cigars. That's really the most time that I ever sit back and spend 2 hours just kicking back smoking a cigar. So it's really no need for me to have boxes. It's no need for me to, I got 1 humidor, 4 tupperdoors, and my carrier, and that's it. That's like, for me, it's no need for me to go overboard and to spend what disposable income that I have on buying boxes. It just doesn't really work for me like that. So somebody asked, like, what did I think about? To me personally, man, to answer this question, since it's really quick, I would say Tupperware over humidor, honestly, just because I've been having so much trouble with this humidor that I've had, and I'm very frugal in the sense of that. A Tupperware you can spend, you know, a dollar on getting a really good humidor, and then you can just put your Boveda packs in there, and you can store a shit ton of cigars. So like, what's the point of really spending all that money? That's just how my brain works, though. Not everybody's gonna operate like me. Somebody asked me, what do I think about Lost and Found and Caldwell cigar? I'm not a fan of their cigars at all. Out of all the cigars that I've tried from that line, I can't tell you any cigar that I've really fell in love with, from that line. I it's nothing that has gotten me to be like, oh, this is amazing. Honestly, they all taste like paper bags to me, and they look phenomenal. The Anastasia, long live the Queen, long live the long live the King, the whatever whatever the blind thing is, whatever that cigar is, whatever. I can't think of the name of it right now. They look great. They look phenomenal. But when you smoke them, like that tells you everything you need to know. Like the band doesn't mean anything. I don't care like how good the cigar looks. What does it smoke like? And I just haven't had any of those that actually made me feel like I love that brand. And I've been really hard on Caldwell. I've been really hard on Blackbird cigars. But at least with Blackbird, like the Vince, I enjoyed that cigar a lot. I thought that was really good. I haven't liked anything else, but I enjoyed that. At least there's something from that portfolio that I can say I really like. And I've been really hard on Timeless and Ferio Tego. And, it's just, they don't work for me. They don't work for my palate at all. Shouts out, man. Appreciate you, Quincy, man. You show a lot of love, man. Thank you for supporting the team, man. We appreciate you. All right, man. I'm actually like I got all of my merch set up. I got I got all the designs and I got everything set up. It's just a matter of, do I just want to go with Teespring and then just put it on the channel? Y'all let me know if I put out some T-shirts and some hoodies and all that kind of stuff. Are y'all gonna support? Should I do that? Do y'all want me to do that? Let me know because I've been talking about it for at least a year or two, and I just never pulled the trigger. I got everything designed up, and I'll put the designs up on the community tab so y'all can see what they look like. I think it's dope, and I want it for myself, to be honest. So I really want to put it out there just to see what everybody's gonna do. But I don't know how well this channel is gonna work with me not doing reviews anymore. I don't know, I don't know how that's gonna work. So we're gonna see. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Sal said, I love the Atabey, but I prefer the Alfonso and Yeho #2. I've had some of the Alfonsos, man, and and I got love for United, man. I think on a whole they're cool, but I wasn't really feeling like the Alfonso and what's the other big name brand that it got. I can't think of what it is, but I wasn't really feeling them like that. I'll take an Atabey any day. That's just my opinion, though. I definitely respect yours. Yeah, man, I know some people like that Lancero for the Long Live the Queen, but it was none of the long. I've tried every Vitola you can think of with the spread. What up? I tried every Vitola that you can think of from that line, and I didn't like any of them, man. Yeah, Stogie asked it out. Do I like Punch? I like Punch a lot, man. Usually, like cigars that come from, you know, the U.S. like rebranding a lot of the Cuban brands and stuff like that. I really don't smoke a lot of those, and I like Romeo and Julietas and San Cristobal and all that kind of stuff. I usually stay away from Byron. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Ugh, but usually when it comes to those brands, I don't like them a lot. But Punch, when they were doing like some of those Chinese cigar releases, some of those are really good. And that series that they do where it's like the Puro line that they do, like the Habano and all of those, I thought those were amazing. They're great for if you want to just have budget cigars that you can kick back and smoke. I like that Punch line, man. The Grand Puro, the Grand Habano, that whole line. I haven't had one of those that I did not like. Those are really good. So I got love for Punch, man. Surprisingly enough. So Fred said I'll for sure snag a shirt and a hoodie. All right, man. So I'm gonna chop it up with the fellas behind the scenes, man. I'm gonna see if I can get that rolling, man. Have I had that Michael Jordan cigar? You talking about that really long double Lancero that he has? I think it's called like the M23 or MJ23 or something like that. Nah, man. I remember when they, at the Last Dance, when he was smoking that cigar at the end of the Last Dance. It was getting a little bit of a buzz. But I never saw it anywhere where I could get my hands on it to grab that cigar. I would try it just because I'm a Jordan fan. The curiosity would have me try that, but that's a long ass Lancero, bro. So I would try it. He said it wasn't really good to you, and I'm not really shocked by that, man. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to a lot of my cigars, and I'm a purist when it comes to just buying Jordans in general. Like Jordan's fashion sense to me is off. But like let's say like I just bought a pair of 1985 Chicago Jordan 1s. I love that shoe. I love the original line of the Jordan 3. I love the Jordan 4 and in any of the original colorways, whether it's the white cement, the black cement, or just like that whole line is just butter to me. Same thing goes for the Jordan 5. I like the Jordan. I like the Jordan 6 and the Jordan 9s, and sevens are cool, and anything after that, it's like I don't really rock with them. I like the new release that they just put out. Like I think it's like 33 or 34 or something like that. Those are dope. I just saw those when I was out in Tokyo. So those are really dope. But when it comes to like Jordan, like I don't trust everything that Jordan does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a diehard Jordan fan. He's the greatest basketball player to ever live to me. And just out of curiosity, I would try that cigar, but I didn't expect it to be a banger. And that's why I didn't go out of my way, just like, oh, I gotta have this double Lancero. You know what I'm saying? It just really didn't do that for me. He said the non-Cuban punch, this is from Fred, said the non-Cuban punch is way better than the Cuban punch in my opinion. Yeah, I like the Cuban punch, and I like the punch, and I probably haven't had one in about 4 years, to be honest with you. But I was smoking that pretty heavy because you could get it at a decent price when I lived in the Kanto region. And so I was smoking those for a minute, and I enjoyed them. But yeah, I would probably, like, I got one more punch Grand Puro downstairs in the humidor, and that's just a cigar. Like, if I just got some downtime, it's in a Robusto, I'll kick back and smoke that. So I can't really argue with that opinion too much, Fred. If you put out merch, I'm sure you will get support from the community. I hope so, Sal. At least that's my opinion, and I for one will jump on it. I'm sure it would look killer. So I'll send out the mock-ups that I got for you guys. So you guys can. I'll let you guys vote on that, man, and I'll try to get that out. And I don't know if I can really promote them like that on the lives. So I got to figure out a strategy to figure out how to promote those and to get those out there. Do I only wear retros, the shoes that he played in, or do you some of the newer options? If it's just strictly, if if it's just strictly Air Jordans, I only wear the retros. I only wear OG colorways, and I was gonna bring those out here. I was gonna bring those out to show y'all, and I was so behind that I just didn't do it because I want to show y'all like the Jordans that I just got. They are so fly, man. And I got a pair of Jordan 2s. People hated the Jordan 2s. I love the Jordan 2s now. I hated them when they originally came out. I don't know how that skipped my brain just earlier. But I just got a pair of the black cements that to me they look like they could have been just like the original Chicago's. They're just a black version of those. So I love those. I absolutely love those. So I will rock those. But for the most part, if it's not an OG colorway and if it's not a retro, I don't really rock with them. like the Concords and the number 11s with the patent leather and all that. I know people love those, and I know they're like everybody's favorites. But I'll wear the 10s over those, and I just never really felt those. They just never really clicked for me like that. That's the ones that I named are the ones that are like my absolute favorites. And I know people love the Concords. I know people, and they just put out the new release of them joints. What was that? The Neapolitans. They look good, but I just didn't feel like I wanted to spend my money on that. The Space Jams look good too. I do like the Space Jams. So like I show love to the sixes and the sevens. But it's just not anything that I go out of my way for. Now, look, if I got like a dope price on some Space Jams, they look good with jeans. They, like the color palette on that shoe is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So like I appreciate them, but they just the silhouette on the Jordan 4s and the Jordan 5s, the 2s, and like I would take those over everything but the Jordan 1s. You know what I'm saying? The silhouette on the Jordan 1 is like the perfect shoe. I am not a fan of the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. My boy G got this for me because I was always talking junk about the Lakers when I was doing EKBSN, and I was talking junk about LeBron and the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. I wear this hat to work out. You can see how faded it is. I wear this hat to work out and when the Lakers lose. My basketball team is the Golden State Warriors. We just got to win today. We finally moving up in the standings, and if we keep playing the way we playing, we're gonna at least be the 7 or the 8 seed. We just got to get these wins out of the way. But we got a couple tough games coming up. We got to play Boston, and we next, and then we got to play the Nuggets, and then after that, our schedule is pretty easy. Yeah, man, I can't support the Lakers, man. I can't do that. Shouts out to you for being a Lakers fan, man. It's a lot of y'all. You're probably a Cowboy fan too. I'm not taking a shot at you either, Fred. But yeah, man, that's kind of been my focus. So like, honestly, man, next time around when I do a live, I'm gonna bring out my sneakers for y'all so y'all can see that joint. Um, when it comes to like, I today I was rocking the KDs. Not the most recent pair. Yeah, they are the most recent pair of KDs. I'm bad with numbers. What is that? 16, I think. I just got a pair in Tokyo of some Onitsuka Onitsuka Tigers, the Bruce Lee colorways. What is it? Mexico 66. They're all leather. It's absolutely my favorite shoes right now. I'm wearing them into the ground. Like my other sneakers, I only wear them like when I got a fit to go with them. But those sneakers, I wear those every day. To go to California, I just got a brand new pair of Penny Twos in a photon color, like they like a smoke gray. Fire, absolute fire. My brother-in-law was like, "Yo, you rocking pennies?" So it was kind of cool. If it wasn't for injuries, Penny Hardaway would probably be my second favorite player of all time, and that's including Steph Curry. That's including Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's including Bubba Chuck, and he would probably be number 2 behind Jordan. That's even including Magic. I love Magic too, but Penny was like he was that dude other than Jordan for me until he got injured. Man, I hate the injuries kind of took him out, so I still like to rock pennies. So for me, like I'm not like a sneakerhead. I'm not just gonna buy everything that's out there. I have to have like a personal connection to the shoes that I rock. They have to be something that I loved as a kid, or they have to be like a player that I really love, that I really support, or they gotta have like they gotta like jump out to me. It's like I gotta have this in as shoes that I want to go outside and wear. I'm not the type that like collect shoes and don't wear them. I want to be able to rock them. Um, right now, like I really love. I hate James Harden, but the James Harden 7s and the James Harden 8s that just came out, fire. They're absolute fire. And Anthony Edwards just dropped a new pair of sneakers that are bangers. I like Ja Morant. I like his new sneakers too. So he said, "Do I remember the Jordan Fusions? Yeah, I do. Um, when they fused the J's with the Air Force Ones, I saw those, man. But I'm not really into the Fusions like that. I wanted those bad growing up. Now looking at them, they ugly as hell, and that's kind of how I feel. I don't like them either. But with the what are they, the 20s? I think when they brought Spike Lee back out, and I think they're the Jordan 20s, and they're kind of like an amalgamation of just about all the Jordans from that earlier era. I love those. I think those are banging. I just haven't seen those in a place where I could get them yet. He said, I have a pair of Ken Griffey's. I love the Ken Griffey's, and I love the Deion Sanders joints. I absolutely love those. If I can find those, I'm copping. But like right now on the market, they are so expensive that I don't even bother with them. And my next to cop are the Air Trainers, the Bo Jacksons, the old school Air Trainers, and the second gen. The second gen is my favorite. I had the chlorophylls, and I can't the navy blue joints. Shoot, and the medicine balls, like those, I would buy those anywhere. If I find those again, I'm copping them. That's like that's my, I gotta have a connection. I love Bo Jackson growing up, and like I never got a chance to get those shoes when I was a kid. I got the foam posits. I had Jordans. I never got a chance. I did have the chlorophylls, but those are the only ones that are Air Trainers that I was able to get. So like that, I have to have a connection with the shoes in order to feel like I want to buy them. Said the best thing happening in LA is that Russell Westbrook is building a foundation development in the South Central with affordable housing and retail. Sal, I did see that, man. I got so much love for Westbrook, man. They tried to they tried to they tried to kill Westbrook, man. They tried to kill him when he was with the Lakers, and I'm glad that he was able to to get to the Clippers. He's still in LA, and he's doing great stuff for the community with his fashion, with his philanthropy work. He's giving people jobs, he's giving people homes. I got nothing but love for Westbrook, bro. I'm so glad you brought that up. I read that article just the other day, man. I got nothing but love for Westbrook. He said he found some Jason Kids. This is Fred. Said he found some Jason Kids too to get in the black and white originals. Yeah, if you get those, cop, man, because I hadn't seen those in a while. And I love bringing out like old school sneakers that people forgot about, like the Jason Kids, the old school Asics and stuff like that. Yo, I go hard for certain shoes like that. Dion's are fire. So yeah, I'm with you on that. He said, "What do you wear out there as far as sneakers?" So the reason why I love Japan is because a lot of the sneakers, they're sneakerheads out here. So they love Jordans, they love Adidas, but you can also get Asics out here. The Onitsuka Tigers are like everywhere, and they're dope. They rock a lot of Converse. Um, they rock Champions. So they rock a lot of shoes that Americans almost completely forgot about. So when I go out shopping, I'll try to get some of those. Um, but mainly for me, it's a lot of stuff that I've been naming to y'all. That's pretty much what I'm rocking right now. I got some. I just bought some Nike waffles that they were like $50 that I copped some of those. They were really cool and they just look really good and they just simple, like when you are wearing like a dope track suit or something like that. They look so good, man. Um, I'm trying to get my hands on those Anthony Edwards, but they sold out really fast. I'm trying to get some of the Ja Morants. So I've been rocking the Jordans heavy. I've been rocking the KDs heavy. Uh, I told y'all about the Penny Hardaways, my Tigers. Oh! I did buy another pair of Air Trainers. I got the University Reds. That they are fire. They're absolutely fire. So that's kind of what I've been kind of leaning back on for the most part. So I'm building up right now, like just with my disposable income, when I'm not spending money on the kids. That's what I've been copping lately. I ain't even been buying cigars like that. I've been buying shoes. Yeah, you get some crispy white K Swiss. That's money. He said Champion is his favorite right now. I got 4 or 5 pairs. Like you come out in Japan, like, it was so dope the other day, man. We went out to get some yakiniku, and my son was rocking some cement with the elephant print Jordan ones, and this dude just stopped and he was like, "Your boy." It's like, "Oh my God," and he was telling my son, he was like, "Kakoi ne." That's just basically means, that's real cool or handsome. So he was just sat out there and talking to my son, and they were just, going back and forth. He had on some, some dope champion sneakers, and he was just hype about my son rocking the, those Jordans. Kid, where you at? You good? Slide it. Slide it. It's open. Sorry, my son is right here. What up?
Can I have 4,000 yen, please?
What you gonna do with it?
Robux.
How you gonna use it right now?
I was gonna give it to mom and she was gonna buy me Robux. That's what I was thinking.
All right. Go get your wallet. I got you.
Okay.
I think my wallet ain't here, man. Go downstairs and go in my room to get my wallet. Sorry about that, man. I had to chop it up with a kid for a second. Oh, back in the day, man, in the States, you could not wear champions, man. There was a short period in the 90s where, people kind of got away from like the Nikes and Adidas for a minute. So, you had like the British Knights, the Troops, and the Champions. And it was a period where you could rock that. You could rock some Brooks, and you could rock like, some Lee Coke Sportive, which is heavy out here too in Japan. They rocking those. And then for a minute, just like everybody started calling them butter cookies after a while. So like you would get clowned if you was rocking them. But those are like really dope, man. It's really dope. So it's really cool. Out here, you can see people rocking Converse. You can see them rocking Asics, Lee Coke Sporters, and Le Coke Sporters, Champion, Avarex. So a lot of the stuff that we was rocking in the 90s, that's what they rocking out here now. So it's kind of cool to see that, that culture has come alive out here again. Yeah, facts, if you know, If like if you wore those at the wrong time, you would get dogged. Especially like if you went to the East Bay magazine and your mom caught you some they rock Filas. Matter of fact, dude, roast beef, when you said that, I saw a pair of Grant Hills in a store the other day, and like I was going back and forth with my wife, like, yo, do I cop these or do I leave them here, man? And it's at a store like right down the street, so I might go back and see if they're in there. They got the same Grant Hills you talking about. They got them right down the street, and they were like $50. I should have copped them. I still might go back for them. But yeah, man, if you came out at the wrong time, with the champions, back in the States, man, you would get mollywopped. And it was 3,000 yen, kid. So.
Oh, that was 4,000.
You got 3,000. Your sister got 3,000.
Oh.
Oh, you got 4.
Yeah. Just some of them. The rest of it, her 4,000 was in coins.
All right, put that in your wallet, man, so you don't lose that money, bro.
And also, mom was on the couch.
Huh?
Mom was on the couch.
Okay. All right, so Grant Hill tools. They was alright to me, man. Wait, am I getting the ones or the twos mixed up? Which ones had like the one that had the blue shape that was around the shoe? That was the one, right? And that was the one that Pac was wearing. Tupac was wearing back in like '96, I think. Those are the joints that was right down the street. The twos are the ones that had like the fingers on them. Like I think that was the twos that I didn't love as much. Dude, I forgot about the mash burns, yo. That's crazy. Said I wore my Jordan jersey backwards in front of the students the other day, and they thought it was funny. I told them this is really the style. Yeah, like yo, they don't know that culture, man. When we was like trying to find ways to be unique, man, and to rock our clothes backwards or inside out and all that kind of stuff. They don't really get that concept of like standing out and being unique, man. They don't really get that. Like the kids, now everything is pretty much uniform. Like everybody kind of dressed the same, and I kind of get it. It's kind of like a rehash of what we was doing in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, I'm just glad you showed them that part of the culture, Fred. That like that's how we used to get down. Pan, thank you for showing up, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks to everybody clicking that like button. I appreciate the love, Pan. You always show love, man. You the best. Okay, he said the shape was the tools. So yeah, the tools is where it was at then. Those are the ones that I love the most. I graduated from high school in '98. This is such a good cigar, man. Atabay is where it's at, yo. Like you cannot go wrong with this. So I didn't really like. I didn't have a lot of money growing up, but my mom was the type that like she would go through to the ends of the earth to kind of make sure that we had the stuff that we, So when we went to school, we was presentable, and that So like when I was really younger, Jordans was real heavy. So back when I was in school, though, I did try to be like the cat that I wasn't like the main sneakerhead, but I would try to get some of my favorite joints. So anything that like Penny Hardaway was wearing during that time, like the foam posit joints, the original pennies. What was the Air Max joints? They had like the bubble circles on the side of them joints. I can't remember what the name of them joints are. They had like the oblong circles, and they had the checkerboard print that was in them joints. They was real heavy. Um, Crazy with the Air Max. I've been falling in love with Air Max lately. So my wife been rocking Air Max real crazy. She got like every flavor of Air Max you can think of. Same thing with me though. Like if it's not like the OG colorways, like the varsity color with the red joints, red and gray, or like the lime green joints, like that. Those are the only ones that I really go out there for. Yo, if they bring back Air Max 95, you really can't go wrong with a 95. So yeah, that's a classic. Though, like I'm kind of curious to see what Shaq and Bubba Chuck is gonna do with the Reeboks. Like being that I'm from Hampton Roads and I'm from North Carolina, like Bubba Chuck was my guy. So when the original questions came out from Bubba Chuck, those like I had to have those. It was nothing that was gonna stop me from rocking those. Like I gotta get a new pair of them joints now. I want to get the red and the blue jinks. Um, because they've been doing a lot of retros with those. But really, what I want to get is the Reebok uh, question 4. I think the 4 and the 5s, the ones that he was rocking when he stepped over Tyronn Lue when they were in the championship. Yeah, I got to get back to those. Those swingmans are fire too, man. It's crazy because not a lot of people remember the multi bowl joints and the Sam Cassell joints. And I remember like I had the air raids, the crossovers, the joint that what's my man name? Tim Hardaway's. The Tim Hardaway's was crazy. Yeah, immortal is the best way to say that, roast beef. They are absolutely immortal. So the original questions and the 4s and the 5s. Those are like Bubba Chuck didn't have the best sneaker line, but those three, like I'll rock those at any point in time. But the all black joints with the gray joint on the front, bananas. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm kind of curious because Shaq and Bubba Chuck took over Reebok, so they're supposed to come back out and they're gonna be re-releasing some shoes and they're gonna be doing some new shoes. I hope they do something really good, man. I'm kind of nervous because they never really had like the best taste in shoes. You know what I mean? You had the hypnotic joints and you had the kamikazes and you had the pumps and then you had Bubba Chuck's question and answer lines, but the rest of the Reeboks is kind of like I don't know. You know what I mean? You had the white and silver joints for the 25th anniversary Bubba Chucks. Yeah. Those was clean too. So that like I don't consider myself a sneakerhead, man, because I'm not the type of dude that's going out and spend like thousands of dollars on sneakers or anywhere up to like $200-300. Like I'll wait till I can cop at a reasonable price. That's why I'm super hyped about these Jordans because it took me forever to get these Jordan ones, and I don't care if like people wear them out to death. I got these shoes because I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like that is like I wanted them, and I got a pair of the Lost and Founds that are coming. I got those on the way. and I got some of the new NYC Pigeon Jordans, like not Jordans, but they're Dunks. When those originally came out, they were so hard to get. Those are the joints that the people was like standing in line, waiting to get these sneakers, and I never got a chance to get those. So for me, this is just a me for like that kid that never got a chance to get those shoes. I'm trying to go back and get all the stuff that I fell in love with. So I could care less of like what's fashionable right now. I feel you, Fred. It don't matter to me like what is like popular to other people. I rock the shoes that I love. You know what I'm saying? And that like I feel like a superstar when I'm out there rocking the joints that like have personal meaning to me that make me fall in love with sneakers. You know what I'm saying? That's the joint that makes me like, okay, I'm comfortable out here in my skin. I'm comfortable in these sneakers. Soldieries. You got it like soldieries. You got to remind me like off the top. I don't know. I probably know what they look like. I don't know them by name. Dang, there was another pair of Nikes that I had back in the '90s. Man, I wish I knew the name of those shoes. If I could ever find those again. Do y'all ever watch like there's a dude from Sacramento. I think his name is Chris or Nightwing, and he has a show called Wear Testers, where he just talks about new sneaker releases and classic sneakers and all that. He got one of the best shoe shows that's out there right now. If y'all ever get a chance, go on YouTube, check out Wear Testers. He got some of the dopest sneakers. Like anything, like most of the stuff he and I about the same age, and so we got like the same taste in sneakers. He bring out some of the flyest stuff. He said maybe a silly question, but do they have Ross or something equivalent out there? That's where they be finding like the Filas and the stack houses. Yeah. Oh, you in Sacramento? That's where my wife is from, man. Shouts out to Sac, man. Um, the show is called Wear Testers, and the dude's name is Chris. And I think he got an online moniker that he goes by Nightwing. He's really into comic books and stuff too. But check him out, man. Wear Testers. But as far as like what you were asking, they got a spot called ABC Mart. That's like a kind of like a budget shoe store where you can go in there, and that's where I saw the Grant Hills. They got those out there, so you can always find like Filas and Converse and stuff out there. The Soldier Slim Reeboks. Oh, okay, yeah. Like I at the time, Quincy, when all that stuff started coming out, when the South was really getting heavy, when it was like Master P and them and all that. I was really into East Coast hip hop, so I ain't really rock with a lot of that stuff. That's why I didn't know that off the top of the head. Like I was really like East Coast backpacker, OK Player, Most Def, Rakim, Nas, Jay-Z. So I thought I was from New York. I really didn't, but like when it came to my music, that's what I was into really heavy at the time. So a lot of that stuff from the South, if it wasn't like UGK or Outkast, I wasn't really rocking with like the Hot Boys and Master P and like I wasn't really hip to all that kind of stuff. That was like it took me years to kind of connect with my Southern roots before I got it. I like M Ball, MJG, 8 Ball and MJG, UGK and Outkast. That's really about in the Dungeon Family. That's really like my extent of what I got into in the South. It took me a time. Oh, Scarface. I love Scarface. So when it came to like my sneaker connection and hip hop connection, like I really wasn't rocking with a lot of the stuff that came from that era. So that's why I didn't catch that off the top. So way to put me on to that. That's why I didn't think about that right off. Yeah. UGK, Ghetto Boys, mainly Face Mob, a lot of the Dungeon Family cats. That's kind of where my lane was. So I kind of missed out on a lot of that sneaker hype and a lot of that stuff that kind of came from that. So I missed that whole era. Like, rocking Jabot jeans. I got on that kind of late and, all that kind of stuff. So I was really like straight up like backpacker hip hop Rap a Lot was loved to me because of, you know, my love for Scarface. You know, that was my guy. You know, I still love Scarface to this day. Like the joint that he did, that Tiny Desk concert was like everything to me. So when it came to my sneakers, you know, during that time, I was like real heavy, you know, rocking Timberlands and, you know, the Super Tims, the Butters, and Nike, Reebok. That was kind of like my lane with that. You know what I'm saying? And like, I wish y'all could see, like, cause I went into that period where everything was like, if you kind of like, you guys don't really get to see me in anything other than this stuff right here. But like when it came to like how I used to dress, if you look at like the way Andre 3000 dresses right now, that's kind of like that was what my style was like. I was the dude in the South that I stuck out like a sore thumb. What's my take on Bay Area rap? It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. Like I didn't know anything about Bay rap except for like the Far Side. That was like my extent, and you know, and the hieroglyphics. You know, because I was really into like backpack hip hop. That was my extent of West Coast. Aside from like, you know, NWA. I know they South. I know they like in LA, but NWA and the DOC. But my wife being from Sac, she put me on to that whole Thiz vibe. Like I didn't know anything about that. I didn't like 40 at first. You got to understand, like when it came to E40 at first, oh, I knew about Too Short because like I didn't even see Too Short as I knew he was from Oakland, but I didn't even see anything about that at first. But when E40 first came out, the first thing that I knew about was Sprinkle Me. So when he came out in that video, he had the leather coat on and he had the blue Kango and all that. I was like, yo, who is this dude trying to be Biggie? You know what I'm saying? So like he didn't get no love from me. I love 40 now. 40 Water is my dude. But my wife put me on to um, Mac Dre and Keep the Sneak and all that. Like I had no clue about that whole code. It didn't exist to me until my wife. I met my wife in the early 2000s. So she put me on to that whole Thiz movement and you know that stop go and you know going stupid and going dumb. Like she schooled me to all of that. Like when I first went out to Cali and I actually was on the Bay Bridge and cats was really, you know, they was really shaking their dress and they was doing the you know the break and shit and they was stopping and going on the bridge. I was like, yo, this is real. This hyphy movement is real. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy to me because it wasn't so globalized, you know, back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you really had to be the type of cat that you would travel and fly to LA or you had to fly to the Bay Area to really get a that gas break. Yeah, like all of that was new to me. Like that stuff like we were so like, yo, if you ain't from excuse me, if you ain't from like New York and you know, or maybe you know, you're not from Atlanta, we really didn't have a connection and at the time North Carolina didn't have a sound. We didn't have J. Cole. We didn't have Fonte. We didn't have like, you know, real MCs at the time. The closest that we got in Virginia was Mad Skills. You know what I'm saying? Like so and then we like when Pharrell and them started to kind of pick up, that's when, you know, my area had got their own sound. So it was like all New York for us at first. You know what I'm saying? So when she put me on to that yada yada, I mean, you know, all that kind of stuff that they was doing, like it was foreign to me. So now, like you know, I appreciate Mac Dre and I appreciate the Bay Area sound, and it's like to me, don't bring up P.D. Pablo, like because that's what bothers me. Like when it comes up to like the P.D. Pablo, I hate when I tell people like yo I'm from North Carolina, and the first thing that they come out with is like, oh, North Carolina, P.D. Pop. I'm like, yo, we didn't rap like that. You know what I'm saying? When the MCs that I was around, like at that time, like I was listening to like Boot Camp, real heavy, you know, Most Def, all that kind of stuff. Shouts out to Little B, word up. But so like we was like real rappers, you know what I'm saying? We was really into MCing type stuff. We was on, you know, that's how you got the J. Cole's and that's how you got the Fontes and stuff like that. Once people really started like paying attention to North Carolina, we had some real MCs. But the only thing like nationwide people knew was Petey Pablo, and I'm like, I don't want to be associated with that sound. That wasn't us. No, we do not rock with Petey, bro. We do not rock with Petey. But that's what everybody thought North Carolina was, and that's not how we really got down. So that's kind of a sore spot for me. I'm gonna be real with you. But now that like when I hear like real Bay Area music, like it has a real like identifiable sound, like it's my joint. Like I rock with it now because I was able to kick it with my brother-in-law, and I was able to kick it with my my sister-in-law, and my wife and all her friends. They put me on to that whole going dumb, and like I really appreciate a lot of Bay Area rap right now. Like it's like, but for me, if it wasn't for Far Side and the hieroglyphics and the influence that they had on us as on the East Coast, I wouldn't have any connection to real West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a minute to really appreciate like how dope 40 was. I know Mozzie, I know him by name, but like, I couldn't tell you anything on album wise and all that kind of stuff. Like off the head, like it's a lot of people that I really mess with from the Bay. Unless you like bring up some names, I wouldn't be able to connect the dots until like, okay, yeah, like yeah, I rock with this cat. You bring up somebody else, like, yeah, okay, I heard of him, I rock with it. Just because I didn't get out into the Bay until like the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? It was probably like 2004, maybe 2005 or something like that. So I was real late on that train, bro. But I knew about Too Short. Okay, I know if I went downstairs and I asked my wife about it, I know she would know all about Marcy, yo. But I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? But I know the sound, and like that's when I got mad. That's when I got mad with Drake when he was like doing that whole, he was still in rapping Forte sound and all that kind of stuff, and and he was trying to front like he was really hip to that Bay Area sound, and I got mad because like Bay Area is like real deep with their sound, like, and it's like nobody else sound like them. Nobody else sound like the Bay. So I got mad love for that whole sound. I didn't know I was gonna go 3 hours with y'all. I was not planning to be out here, but it's all good. I'm gonna keep rocking with you. He said, I was one hell of a Tupac fan. Didn't listen to Jay-Z early because Pac said he was trash. So you missed out on Jay-Z best era. You know what I'm saying? Because Jay was at his best when it was Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1, probably up until like I hated Volume 2. I hated that album. I can't stand that album. But Volume 3 kind of, he kind of rounded it out a little bit. But like Reasonable Doubt Jay is my all-time favorite Jay. And I was on the opposite end of the train. To this day, I still probably only listen to like 10 Pac songs. I'm not a big Pac fan. Smile with him and Face Mob is like one of my all-time favorite songs, period. Picture Me Rolling, when he don't have Big Psych on it, when it's Picture Me Rolling with him and the Outlaws, that joint crazy. Got My Mind Made Up when it was him and the Dog Pound and Meth and Red. That's the Pac that I rock with. Ambitions of a Rider, I can get down with Pac when he in that vibe. But people love All Eyes on Me. I only can pick out like maybe 4 or 5 songs off that whole album. I think my favorite Pac joint was Pac was really about to come to his own when he did Machiavelli. That's when I fall in love with Pac. Blasphemy, that whole like I can rock that Blasphemy, that whole Machiavelli album. But I wasn't a big Pac fan. I'm still not the hugest Pac fan, but I respect him. So that's kind of an interesting thing with that. It took me a minute to get into that whole thing, but that whole East Coast West Coast thing, to me, man, it was probably the worst thing that ever happened to hip hop because you got so many people that if you were on Pac's side, then you couldn't appreciate Big and what Jay was doing, and if you was on if you were listening to Mobb Deep and Jay Z and Biggie, then a lot of cats weren't messing with Pac because of that whole thing, and I just think that really kind of messed up music because it was a lot of people like that 95 to like 98 period was some of the best hip hop. You had the Fugees, you had the Boot Camp Clique, you had Wu Tang, you had Pac, you had Big, Jay, like that's like a another renaissance for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like you had some really good music. You had Far Side, and people were so busy like picking sides that they was kind of they was kind of losing sight on like what was really good out there. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of hurt the music scene because there was a whole period like during that time, like '94 on the East Coast, everybody was just listening to Dre and Snoop. You know what I'm saying? If you noticed, like everybody started sounding like the West Coast. Everybody was either sounding like even Outkast when they first did Southern Playalistic, they sounded like the hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying? Their whole sound was like Bay Area. They had the Bay Area flow, but then they had the South mixed with LA type beats. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was coming off Doggy Style and the Chronic. That whole thing like that. That's what music sounded like. And so unless you was listening to like Wu, Mobb Deep, and Jay, that's the only and Nas. That was the only thing that was really still popping from New York music and Biggie. It's kind of a crazy thing the way that whole sound went. That's why like everything from the South and like all the Midwest rappers, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, they was all taking stuff with Bone. They was all getting their stuff from the West Coast. Everything was coming from the West. All the Southern rappers, they was borrowing stuff from the West Coast. It's just kind of funny how that whole thing just kind of changed everything. Yo, that Mario Brothers beat, I think that was Smith and Wesson that did that from the boot camp. That joint was bananas. That joint was bananas. Like that was like you couldn't tell me nothing during that time about Smith and Wesson, and I think they was the Cocoa Brothers at the time when they did that. And you couldn't tell me nothing about Helter Skelter. Like that's what I used to, I got the heavy voice too. That was like my joint, man. You couldn't tell me nothing about like Nocturnal. Like I really thought I was boot camp click for real. Pac's first album is Magical, with the Tupacalypse joint. Album highlights so much of the shift with him. I think he went fully thug life to pull people into the early messages. I to me, man, I think he went thug life, man, just to kind of survive, man. After he got shot, and because the way that I look at Pac, man, like to me, Tupac is a poet, and Tupac is an artist, and like, okay, bet I got to get off in just a sec, yo. But let me end with this. So Tupac really was he was really an artist. So like that's the way I connect with Pac. I connect with Pac's artist side, and he was a storyteller. But he had to, in order to survive in jail, in order to survive outside of jail, he had to keep that thug life image going. And he kind of felt like any other way people was gonna think he was soft. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that early area of Pac that you talking about, like the Tupacalypse, and back when it was what's the joint he did? So Many Tears. What's that album? I can see the album cover in my head right now, but I can't think of the name of it. Me Against the World. So when he was doing that joint, that's when Pac was in his natural form, and I think he saw like what the thug life was doing to him, and I think he was gonna get away from that joint, and I think that's why he kind of got back and he found a perfect balance with the Machiavelli album. And that's when I started to fall in love with Pac again, and then they took him out. And it's the same thing with Nipsey Hussle. I think Nipsey was like the second coming of Pac to me, in the sense that the way he was able to put a message in his music, and he was able to bring people in and give people knowledge and tell stories in there, and they took him out too. And it kind of hurt me, man, because I just hate that these dudes that really had something to give through their music, that they took them off the planet. And now like when there's no depth to hip hop anymore. There's nobody that's really giving you something that you can take from the music and it still sound good. So that's kind of like my association with Pac. I know it's kind of a different take on the way a lot of people feel about Pac, man, but that whole East Coast West Coast thing, I just hate that it got blown out of proportion by the media, and I hate Pac's image got distorted the way that it did. Man, it's kind of sad to kind of think about that. Oh, your people, we need to talk about that, man. I wish I could stay on to really kind of get into that, man, because I got like out of everybody right now, Nip was like my last hope for hip hop. He was the last dude that I fell in love with, man. So I'm glad they got a chance to rock with Nip, man. Neighborhood Nip was everything to me, man. And it's so funny. I was in Oakland. My pops, my father-in-law took me to a Warriors game. It was the last week that they was playing in the Oracle, and we was at the game, and we was watching. I got to see Steph. I got to see KD. Got to see Klay Thompson up close. And while we was sitting in the stands, my phone went off, and they said that Nip had got shot. And it was right. It was before they even knew he was dead, man. It was a heartbreaker, man. I was just falling in love with Nip, and that took a lot out of me, man. It was just funny that I was in the Bay Area when that joint went down, and I was in the Oracle Arena. I'll never forget that, yo. That's just kind of like a crazy moment. But anyway, hey, thank y'all for rocking with me for 3 hours, man. I gotta cut it right here. I gotta go scoop up my daughter. But I will politic with y'all again. This is why I love keeping this channel rocking, man, because y'all are great. Y'all always keep me up with the best conversations. If y'all got anything else to add, man, shoot it to the inbox. Let me see what if you know his last one is here. My phone is about to die too. When Nipsey got hit, that hit me hard. Me too, bruh. Dude wasn't just talking. He really wanted to better for the community, no doubt. He on the block for real. And yo, he was the realest. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he was saying about how to elevate people, about how to get your money right, how to build up your community, nobody was doing it better than Nip. And he made it sound good too. So that's rough, man. But anyway, lady, man, appreciate you, Quince. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all the best. Merch, no doubt. I heard that, man. I'm on it. I'm on it. Big respects to that, yo. Y'all stay up. Thank y'all for showing love. And I will catch y'all on the next go round. Be easy.